falling down. He throws to the end zone. It's got it. Touchdown.
WBZ-FM at HD Boston. 98.5, the Sports Hub. A Beasley Media Group station. Essential Sports Hub headline presented by Celsius Energy Drinks.
A very frustrating loss for the Bruins last night at TD Garden. They outshot the New York Islanders 39-20 and still came up short 2-1. David Pastrnak scored the only goal of the night for the Bruins, but that was in the third period after his team was down 2-0, and Joe Sacco saw Ilya Sorokin make 38 saves in net for the winners.
We did a better job after the first, getting in front of him. Thought the first we had some good chances, but he saw some pucks. After that, we did a better job of getting in front of him. But no, he was really good tonight.
Bruins have lost 5 in a row now. They visit Pittsburgh tomorrow. Celtics had last night off. They'll play a pretty big game tonight at home against Cleveland. Jaylen Brown, Drew Holiday, and Luke Cornett are all listed as questionable. Grandy and Max had the pregame at 7 and the tip-off at 7:30 here on 98.5 The Sports Hub. The Athletic reported yesterday that the Patriots' offseason plan is to build through the trenches and get better on the offensive and defensive lines. The plan is apparently not Cincinnati wideout T. Higgins, either as a free agent or as a trade. The Patriots have also met with Heisman Trophy winner Travis Hunter this week in Indianapolis. He told the media yesterday he wants to be a full-time two-way player in the NFL. Kansas City's Travis Kelce confirmed to ESPN yesterday he is indeed returning for another season. And the Red Sox scored a 6-5 exhibition win over Detroit yesterday. Top prospect Marcelo Mayer homered and drove in 3 runs while playing third base in the win. Garrett Crochet will make his second start of the spring later today in Clearwater, Florida against Philadelphia. Sports Hub headlines are brought to you by Awaken 180. With a 98% customer satisfaction rating and thousands of 5-star reviews, the choice is clear. Awaken180weightloss.com. I'm John Wallach at Boston's Home for Sports, 98.5 The Sports Hub. Your next update at 6:30.
Here we go. Boom. Eyes win. Boom. Yeah.
Hit somebody. We've got a passion for Boston sports.
Get angry.
98.5 The Sports Hub.
Ladies and gentlemen, I need all of you to stop what you're doing and listen.
Toucher
Fred Toucher on Instagram. Follow and see dog humping videos.
and Hardy
I'm going to withhold sex.
on 98.5.
Hello.
Hey there.
Can we use this for the radio?
What? Let me hear you say, oh, na 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 na.
Crush me, mommy.
Just not enough booty to go around? Say my name.
I'm a robot.
I'm the son of the post.
I'll chase you around a little bit.
Wow.
Holy smokes.
Instagram.
I want to dip it in, boy.
Toucher and Hardy
Watch Daddy and Uncle Freddie.
Knocking back some fun. Having some fun.
on 98.5 The Sports Hub.
Let's go.
Hey. 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 Hey.
Hey, good morning, everybody. Good morning. We are Toucher and Hardy. We are in the Town Fair Tire Studios, brought to you by FanDuel Sportsbook. Make every moment more with FanDuel. You can watch us on YouTube. Go ahead and subscribe to 98.5 The Sports Hub on YouTube. Watch us live. My mother does, but she doesn't have an account. And I told her, do not subscribe, Mother, because then you will see the comments and it will make you very upset. So I said, don't do that. We are on Instagram, and did you see the picture that Kevin sent us on Instagram? We took new show photos yesterday, and who knows how they came out. No one's seen them. It was a very quick process, but on my Instagram, Kevin, I guess, collaborated with John on John's dream of what the show photo would be if he could somehow run it. If he could shift shape people and things of that nature. That's what he would want.
It's a think piece for sure. You know,
Yeah.
it took me a moment to decide because at first I thought I was a butthead, and then I realized, oh no, it's all about Wallach, and it's just the things that. It's kind of like a collage that you used to have to make in middle school. Just a thing, like a Wallach collage.
It's a dream board. It's like
A vision board.
A vision board.
I'm not going to lie, Hardy. You look much better that way. It's pretty good.
But the thing is that I don't know why you would take it as that you're butthead because I wouldn't be an eagle.
Right.
Right, if they really wanted to insult us, they would put an ass on you and they would just let my face be what it was. But no, what he's doing is he's enraptured by the eagle because he sees either a rival or a potential mate, and then next to it, obviously his love of big butts,
Right.
which has been well documented.
Yeah.
Is there anyone new on the butt scene, John, that you've been a fan of?
No, I've been shopping around too. No, I haven't. No, I haven't. I don't have a new favorite. I tend to stay with the tried and true. Like we talked about Alexis Texas, and that wasn't bad. And I'm having a hard time replacing her. She's an oldie but a goodie too.
Is Alexis Texas like a BBW, or is she thin with a big butt?
She's thin with a big butt.
Okay, so that's the
Yeah.
idea.
No, she's not well proportioned. If that's what you're talking about.
Yeah, yeah.
All of her talent is in one area.
Oh, that's nice. Well, I like that.
Yeah.
Okay. She's done some straight work too. She's done.
Oh, is that right? I didn't know that.
Yeah, she's done some legitimate work. She does something with you know who I think might have a thing for big butts? Nick Swartzen. Because randomly she's in a short with a digital short with Nick Swartzen, which I think he might have cast that based on Alexis Texas was in Don Juan.
Yeah.
Did you ever see or Don John it is? But do you ever see Don that? Do you ever see that movie
No.
with Joseph Gordon-Levitt?
No, I haven't seen it.
Where he plays it's got Scarlett Johansson. He plays like this like tough Italian guy that gets addicted to porn.
Clips of that. It pops up. Clips of that pop up, and they both have that wicked accent. Yes, I have seen clips of that.
Yeah, not good. Not a good movie. Yeah, he goes through. I will say this is that he goes through a litany of why what goes on in porn is better than what goes on in real life.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't know what was happening in that part of New Jersey at that time in the world, but the things that he thinks that happen in porn that don't happen in real life are not so wild to happen in real life. They pretty much happen every time you're with someone in real life. Let's just say, not very generous to the women in Don John's life.
Yes.
It's a very one-sided affair.
Sure.
So one of the things he liked pornography was that there was a giving partner, but I've come to find it's not unusual that because it scared me when I first became single. I said this doesn't happen anymore, and I said that's fake news. I'm like, that happens.
Huh.
I'm looking at Alexis Texas Instagram right now, and I would have expected the butt to be a little bit bigger to catch John's eye and to be an object of his desire, but she's just got big fat butt.
Yeah, it's not.
It's
It's not the size. It's the motion. It's what she does with it.
Oh, I haven't watched any videos
yeah,
yet.
John doesn't.
Stills.
Feel free to peruse. Really get up to speed on this.
Yeah, I don't find her like over. She wouldn't be like who I chose, but John, you don't like. Do you like not Megan the Stallion? Elkie the Stallion.
I gotta look. I'm not
but
sure.
It's like, okay, so she's someone who's just like has a huge ass. Like she's thin, but she has like a enormous ass. Is it like the bigger the better with you, or is there?
I think he's got a cutoff.
Yeah,
I do think he has a
We've
cutoff.
had this discussion before that there's a line that I won't cross, and I'm looking at Elkie the Stallion. That might be a little too big for me.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because same thing can happen with breasts. Is that sometimes like you're like, oh, okay,
Okay, what are we doing here? This is just enormous.
It gets to be like where the breasts are so big and fake that they almost they become non-breasts.
Yeah. Yeah.
And I mean, I'm talking about like a very, 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 very small percentage of women. I'm talking about like 50 in the world.
Yeah.
But when you see like plastic surgery gone wrong stuff, and you're like, oh well, that's just these are immovable objects now.
Yeah, and it's one thing to watch them on video, but if you ever run into a woman that is has enormous breasts in real life, it's real hard not to stare. It's
Well,
real hard not to
Well, that's
stare.
You
because
don't say.
Well, what I'm saying is it's been normalized by pornography and all these pictures and, implants and whatever. But you see that. You see it online. You see movies of it. But when you run into it in real life, it's a different story.
I've never, even with the porn girls that we've interviewed and stuff, I've never saw breasts that reached the point of where I was like, all right, that's like ridiculous, especially for like a stripper or like a porn star. Like you're kind of like supposed to be like a cartoon in some ways. I mean, that's what some girls want to be. That's why they get the measurements. But there is a certain subset of model in porn that's a very, very, very tiny amount where it even gets me out of my own head. And I'm like, all right, this is just like a lab creation. Like that these aren't even breasts anymore.
Right.
Like you've stretched everything to the point. And I don't think that they have huge careers. Like I think that you've become so specialized that you've almost you've even gotten out of the big bust industry. That you've somehow moved into like this like very small subset. Now I don't doubt it's lucrative in some ways. What are you looking at?
I finally found a video of what really appeals to Wallach about Alexis, Texas.
Yeah.
And it's the jiggling of
See, can you turn your screen a little bit?
Sure. This is what he likes. That thing.
Yeah.
It's just a bunch of fat jiggling around.
Isn't it weird that but John's is certainly not alone. John is in, if you go by popular culture, John's in the vast majority.
I would agree with you. I don't get it myself, but
Well, yeah, I mean, you're like stick figure. I get it. It's different strokes for
it's
different
not even
folks.
so much stick figure as it is like
Well, no.
you know what really turns me on is like a bunch of like fat and cellulite and something really unhealthy and jiggling and like moving around.
No,
I don't think that's fair.
No. We have different proclivities. Hardy likes the 4'11" stocky elf. He likes that.
But I
And
also
that's
don't
fine.
think that necessarily that's unhealthy. I don't think
Not at
Alexis,
all. Either way,
Texas
it's
is
fine.
Now, it's not, would I have sex with her? Of course. Would her ass be like something I was like going, no. Would I be grossed out by hers? Absolutely not.
Would you want to be smothered by it?
No. I wouldn't want to be smothered by anyone's ass.
Well, that's what Wallach wants.
No, I know.
That is his fantasy, to have the big butt cheeks fall, and it's so big that it falls on either side of his face, probably to the point where it covers his one good ear and then the deaf ear, and that you just get smothered and start to suffocate.
Yeah, I wouldn't.
I'm not making this up.
No,
Look
you're
at him.
not.
He's nodding.
I would not want someone.
And
I would not want someone's ass on my face.
you expect me to be upset about what you're talking about? No, we're fine.
No, we've been. Yeah, John's very comfortable with this. I applaud him. He's very comfortable with this.
Marty's
And I don't
looking
think
at me like, are you done? I'm like, yeah.
I don't
it's
think
fine.
there's anything wrong with it. Yeah. I think it's great that, and John's not alone. The thing is that if I was to judge John, it wouldn't be because of the validity of it, or it would be just the obviousness of it in this day and age. You've really followed the trends. But I do believe, based on your taste in music, that you've always been a big butt guy. So maybe the culture caught up to you.
I could have been ahead of the curve on
He's
this one.
He's
Yeah.
a vanguard.
Ahead of the curve.
Yeah.
Should be the name of your blog. And it could be about your life loving butts.
Ahead in the curves.
Yeah.
Oh,
Right.
very good. I like that.
All right,
That
now
was
we're brainstorming.
really good.
Now
Wow.
we're shooting out
Let's
ideas.
workshop this sumbitch.
Yeah.
That's pretty good.
All right, let's start a publishing company and let's go. Ahead in the curves. And it could be, so
Like a Cartesian woman.
exactly, like a Cartesian. Like a Cartesian.
Cartesian woman. Yeah. We like the wiggles attached to it.
Yeah.
Just Joe Rogan.
Yeah, I know exactly what you're saying. Yeah, Cartesian woman, yeah.
Yeah, okay.
I'm happy for you, Wallach. You've got something in your life that you've attached yourself to. You embrace it, and hey, you know what you want. Good for you.
Mm-hmm. You know what I do find annoying, and then we will not talk about the adult film industry again, is...
Ever?
No, I can't promise that, but maybe probably today, is that the modern female porn star... obviously, because like I've obviously clicked on the TT Boy stuff and stuff like that on my YouTube. Now it's like podcasts with porn girls on them, and it's just like, ugh.
I would think that'd be depressing more often than not.
No, it's not depressing, but it's like also, it's not interesting. Like you're not. It doesn't seem you're normalizing it too much, and not that I think that you should be shamed or that but it should be like hot and like kind of taboo. Like it should be like, something like that. Like it shouldn't be. I don't want to see you and your boyfriend talking. I don't want to see that at all. And now like the strategy, it seems, is like porn girls will like get with guy influencers. And it's obviously contrived. And I know also influencers with people like in their late teens, early 20s are the big celebrities, bigger than like movie stars and everything else, or rock stars in some cases. But it seems contrived. And also I don't want to hear about your relationship. Like I want to see you in. I don't know. I watch stuff from the 90s. I still do. 90s and early aughts. I'm very stuck in that. I don't watch much pornography anymore. In fact, I probably watch TT Boys interviews I did at one point more than I watched any pornography. But I think it's like music. I think I'm stuck from when I was a kid.
Stay humble.
I know, TT Boy. I try. But I'm such a fan. I'm such a fan of yours.
So let's see what you got, homeboy.
I mean, you could amaze people because as soon as you took your pants off, already, woo-woo.
I'm an animal.
Yeah, you are. Yeah, you are an animal. And you never search for compliments during any of those interviews.
No.
What?
Yeah. If you want to watch the TT Boy interviews, they're on YouTube. But then be careful because about halfway through the first one you watch, you're going to go, maybe this wasn't a good idea. This is very, very, very sad. And it's not the women, it's the men. None of the men's lives ended up being at all good. And then also, except for the ones in the 70s, like when it was underground in New York, those dudes were all, like I said before, like NYU film graduates that like had kind of fell into the business. The dudes that are were around in the 80s, like the 90s, it's almost like their IQs would be in the single digits. Like there's a Peter North and TT Boy talking is not a meeting of the minds.
Scarface.
I watch that anytime it comes on. That and Predator.
Yeah. It's two guys talking. I watch that anytime it comes on. Scarface. Oh, you like Scarface, do you? Yeah, I'm Predator. Yeah. Those are two guys talking about art. I like Scarface.
What?
I like Scarface. I like Predator. All right. Well, there you go. If you want to see that, it's up at Fred Toucher. I thought Kevin did a very good job. Because, as we sit with bated breath on the new show photo, which I can't complain about because I already have with the old one, and now I am where I am. All right, we'll be back in just a moment with what happened last night. Those fabulous Bruins played again.
Yeah, they did.
I wonder if they'll sell at the deadline.
I don't know. Tough to sell when you put in another effort for a fifth straight time like they did last night. Is that 5 in a row now, John?
Yes, indeed.
Yep. There you go.
Yeah, good stuff. All right, we'll be back in just a moment.
Stay humble.
You're listening to Toucher and Hardy on the Sports Hub. Here's more Toucher and Hardy on the Sports Hub.
Did you catch a game last night?
Hey, we're Toucher and Hardy. What happened last night is brought to you by Leonard Hair Transplant Associates, where your hair doesn't have to be a game of what happened. So change your lettuce and change your life with Dr. Matthew Lopresti at 1-800-GET-HAIR. I don't know what you want to start out with, Hardy. It's your choice.
Well, we're going to start with the Bruins. I mean, unfortunately, they were coming off losses to the Rangers and the Vegas Golden Knights and, well, Anaheim and, the Maple Leafs. So that would have been 4 losses in a row. But last night they had a chance to turn things around against the New York Islanders.
And out of the box comes Romanov, and he'll join the rush here. Pajot sent one across. Romanov shoots and scores.
Whoops.
Right out of the penalty box, Romanov gets the feed and gives the Islanders a 1-0 lead here in the first.
Yeah, at the 16-11 mark of the first period, Islanders jump out to the 1-0 lead there at TD Garden. But would they be able to add to it? Yes, is the answer. They would add to it in the second, and after 2 periods, it's 2-0. Nothing more dangerous than a 2-goal lead in a hockey game, Wallach.
Only when the Bruins have it, Hardy.
Well,
Sorry.
That was unnecessary.
But true.
Yeah, tell me you weren't thinking something magical was going to happen in the third.
Here's Parker Wotherspoon up the right side. Drops it off to Pasternak, trying to stick handle around Siplikov. He knocked the puck free. They throw it in front and they score! Bit of a broken play, but the Bruins have cut it back within 1. Pasternak's got it. And that is point number 800 in his career.
How many goals, Wallach, would you say by percentage? Fred, feel free to play along. I don't know the answers, so whatever numbers you come up with, I'll accept as correct. What percentage of goals have been the result of pucks being thrown on the net, broken play goals, goals just kind of sitting in front of the crease out in front that somehow get kicked or slapped in?
Wait, by the Bruins or by their
Bruins.
opponents?
Oh,
I have no idea.
It seems like at least half. At least half are just like, oh, they scored? Oh, good. All right.
Yeah.
All right, neat.
Well, Pasternak scores legitimate goals. I mean, these are all legitimate goals, but Pasternak can score a pretty goal.
He can.
Marchand can pick a corner.
He can.
And then
Lowry can pick a corner.
Who?
Take it easy, John. Don't attack me on that. Lowry, although he's not the greatest defensive defenseman of all time, is a very good offensive defenseman.
Leads all defensemen in points for the Bruins.
Who else?
He's just ahead of McAvoy.
No. Who else could?
Oh, nobody. There's nobody
Geeky
else.
Maybe could.
Now, Geeky has had a good season. I think he has 19 or 20 goals, but he's not one of those guys who you consider a sniper either.
No. So, yeah, I guess those 3 guys are the guys that or it was Ryan in the pregame yesterday was talking to Sacco about Lowry, and I think he was, without saying it, asking about Lowry's getting traded at the deadline. Like Lowry, because he might be worth something. And I think he was kind of feeling out, is he good enough offensively to make up for his lack of defense, in that he would be someone you wouldn't move. I understand he's like low cost and that he's young, but like if you could get, again, future assets for him, would you do that? It's not the ideal guy to move because of his age, but again, Billy said it. Billy Jeffy said it. It's the thing he said. But it might be nice if something started happening like now.
Yeah, as opposed to waiting until
it's a week from today.
The
deadline's a week from today. There's no reason to wait. And the other part of this is that it's like the hockey gods continue to signal to Don Sweeney that, you know what, if you have any thoughts, if you're entertaining any thoughts of adding, don't. Trent Frederick, got injured against Toronto, didn't play last night. He's week to week, which is crappy for a guy you thought you could deal, and the trade deadline's only a week away. And then last night, Matt Poitras suffered a bad-looking injury. Did you see that? You see what happened to Matt Poitras last night?
No, I didn't watch the game last night, John.
Poitras was skating near the New York Islanders bench, and there was an Islander cutting across the ice to get off. The backup goalie opened up the door to the bench right at the point where Poitras skated by and got checked into it. So he took the edge of the wall where the door was to the middle of his chest and was down, and it was so bad he couldn't make it back to the Bruins bench. They had to lead him up the Islanders tunnel to get him back to the locker room.
Oh, that sucks.
Yeah, no, it was bad.
I'm not a big sympathetic
bad.
for injury thing in that like I can watch him, but hit it in like a corner of a door with your ribs.
Yeah, no, it was it was bad.
It's anything that is not taking place on the ice from another player or something like that. And you go back to, the infamous stanchion injury when
Chara, Max Pacioretty.
Pacioretty.
Yeah.
It's like that stuff sucks.
Yeah, that's like because it's like a car wreck.
Exactly. Yeah. But anyway, so the Bruins made a 1-goal game with midway through the third, and then they pulled Swayman at the end. With about 90 seconds left. So the good news is they didn't give up the empty net goal, but they couldn't solve Sorokin last night.
Around to the far side circle. Here's Marchand.
Good
way to keep in. Right circle. Shot. Try to go short side high. Hit the outside of the net. 18 seconds left. At the back of the net, Elias Lindholm sends it hard around the far boards. Geeky tipped it. Lohrei kept it in. 10 seconds to go. Lohrei with a shot. Hit a body in front. Knocked away from Pasternak. Lohrei reaching for it at the blue line. Kept it in. Geeky's one-timer. His stick snapped in half.
And it was a couple of cases of bad luck or post, but mostly it was Sorokin with his 38 saves last night.
Bruins had 16 of the first 18 shots of this game, and they were losing. That's last night. You can't blame them. There have been games where they've gone out and played terribly. Last night was not one of those nights. Last night was...
Well, it's the same thing in Toronto. They played really well against Toronto, I should say.
Yeah.
They played really well, but...
There was no blown lead. I mean, Sorokin was, and as I think Brickley pointed out on the TV broadcast night, Sorokin was the runner-up in the Vezina Trophy voting a couple of years ago. That was the goaltender the Bruins got last night. Unfortunately, he was spectacular all evening. They had a lot of chances from in close. It was just they ran into a hot goaltender. And if you're clinging to life in the playoff race, that's bad luck to have. So they lost. They're 5 losses in a row.
Yeah, the playoffs. Let's go. Let's stop with that. Let's limp into the last couple, last few weeks of the season. Let's pay attention to what goes on at the trade deadline and. People are saying, would you trust Sweeney to make the picks? Oh, I don't think Sweeney's going to have the luxury of making these picks. And that's why ownership has got to step in and say, dude, sell. Like, you have to. And then, sell. And then after the season, you fire Sweeney. And then you get someone in who has a history of at least being involved with an organization that can pick players.
I bet you they won't. I bet you they keep Sweeney.
Well, that would make all the sense in the world.
No, it doesn't make any sense, but you can see ownership look back and go, you know what? Sweeney did all he could to put a great team on the ice a couple of years ago. He made all the trades. He got the roster that you needed. This is just the fallout from
Elias Lindholm.
Yeah, no. Lindholm sucks. The draft has sucked. I went through it last night. The last 7 years, all the players he's drafted in the last 7 years, only 5 have made the NHL.
Yeah,
and that includes the one game from Fabian Lysell.
And I'm not saying that you're wrong. What I am saying, though, is that logic would state, well, yeah, you won and that was great, and GMs get fired. Like, not every GM that wins a Super Bowl or World Series is the GM of that team 3 years later. I mean, there's like times that like these guys get moved. Sweeney's had a long-ass run here. Like let him go. It's time. And maybe it wouldn't be the worst. Sweeney's obviously well thought of. He was the Canada GM. Like, let Sweeney go get another job somewhere else. He's an intelligent guy. It's just time for everyone to move on. And this isn't like, I am a little bit, as I've been doing this and meet more people that are actually the athletes and the like front office people. I don't know Sweeney at all. I do feel like it's a little dickish to go like fire him. And even with the stuff with Marchand, I like Brad a lot, and I just try to look at it as like maybe it's better for everyone. I don't think that if Sweeney was listening to my voice right now, that he would go for this reason. He might think for many others, but wow, what a dick. Imagine that, saying that I shouldn't be the GM of that I shouldn't, oversee the personnel of this team anymore. I mean, he has to know that this has been like a extraordinarily long run of a really not an ultimately like incredibly successful run. They didn't win a cup with him, but like a really good run. And now it's time to be over. Should he be in charge of another team? Absolutely. But just it's over now here. It's been a really long time. And a tip in a feather in his cap, and he'll be remembered fondly. But it just is time for him to go, probably. I would guess. I think that maybe you bring in some fresh eyes and let them kind of take over the talent evaluation of this team. I don't think that's unfair. I put myself in his shoes, and if I heard that, I would think, I don't like hearing it, but it's not the dumbest thing in the world,
Well, Jeremy Swayman says, despite the 5 straight losses, there's still confidence that is growing.
It's building, and that's really important at this time of year. And I know that whenever
I don't believe you. I don't believe you at all.
And is it important for this team this year?
Oh, no, I don't believe that you at all, that there is any sort of confidence whatsoever in this team.
Team the best chance to win possible, and so does Corpy. So we really lean on each other.
Corpy does?
Yeah, Corpy's solid.
And practice is where it starts.
I know.
And the way my body feels right now, I'm really happy with it, and I know that I can keep pushing, and that's what I'm going to focus on.
Yeah, you've been fine, Jeremy. You're not the issue. I thought if you're talking about your own confidence, great. But if you're talking about the team's confidence, no. Yeah, you played bad at the beginning of the season. Now you're playing well.
Columbus won again last night, so the Bruins.
Come on,
points.
John, stop doing this to yourself. I mean, it's ridiculous.
I can't help it. I have to see.
John, they're not making the playoffs.
I must look.
And even if they make the playoffs, it's almost bad.
I know.
Like let them not make the playoffs this year.
Yeah, let them have some extra time off. Think about things.
Everybody needs a break.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, let everyone have a break. Give the team lots and lots of time to scout the draft.
Yeah. Well, does it matter? Scouting the draft, really? Does that matter?
No.
Middle of the first round.
Did Sweeney draft Pasternak or did Chiarelli draft?
I have to look.
Pasternak.
They got back-to-backs this weekend, too. They're in Pittsburgh and Minnesota Saturday and Sunday. Ooh.
Yeah, I love watching the Bruins. I'm not going to go out of my way to be watching these games anymore. It's a lot. It's not a good product. It's time to pack it in for the season. I thought that maybe they were built for the playoffs and that if they got into the playoffs, I thought there was, but look, they're so banged up. I don't like that they fired Montgomery. I know people say they had to, but I thought that was a panic move. They should have gotten rid of him in the offseason then. I just nothing this season has gone well.
I've only got a couple circled on the calendar that I know I'll be watching. Wednesday, March 26th, 10 p.m. puck drop at Anaheim. Couple of 500 clubs going at it. That's when you got to watch.
Yeah, because that might be because that's a must win for one of them.
There's some games coming up on the schedule I won't watch 1 second of that.
Oh, by the way, Sweeney was hired in 2015. Pasternak was first-round pick in 2014.
Okay,
so no,
he did not
that was
pick
Chiarelli. That was Chiarelli who.
Yeah, I thought that might have been the case. And by the way, Chiarelli got fired the year after he took Pasternak. So
yes, but more to your point, Sweeney's going to find another job real quick. Chiarelli found another job. He went right to Edmonton. Remember that
didn't last long.
No, it didn't. But Sweeney will get another opportunity.
Chiarelli's also a very, very difficult man to communicate with, and I have a feeling that factored into his tenure here. He was a very, 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 very difficult man, I think, for everyone, regardless of how close they were to him, to communicate with. Not just the media, not just people in his people like in his outer circle. I just think he was not an easy guy to talk to. not a bad guy, just an odd guy.
Mm-hmm.
All right, we'll be right back. Here are the headlines.
Sports.
Atmospheric.
This is from the new Mogwai album. It's called Yes, my favorite band.
Mogwai's your favorite band?
I thought Guided by Voices.
Yeah, Guided by Voices.
They were my favorite bands, but now Mogwai's my favorite bands.
Better than Guided by Voices?
Yes.
You like them better than Guided by Voices?
I do, yes. I listen to them more. I love their live shows, and they don't put out a bad album.
How long have you been keeping this from us?
Have you told Robert Pollard this?
No. Now I'm thinking about the Stern bit where Richard Christie said everything's his favorite. No, Halloween's my favorite.
I lived that bit. Did you could our audience tell Robert Pollard that you've turned his back on?
Yes.
You've turned your back on him?
I don't think Uncle Bob will be upset about that.
I would be. If my number one fan turned his back on me,
I don't know that I'm the number one Guided by Voices.
Please, you got to be up there, Adam. I don't think that Guided by Voices are a lot of people's favorite band.
I think you'd be surprised.
No, I know that they're a legendary band that a lot of people love. But
the people that do love them live and die by them.
Yeah, I get it.
Yeah,
but you've turned your back on them. Okay, that's all.
Much like John turned his back on his religion.
Don't gaslight John. All right, go ahead. Don't you dare, Adam. Go ahead. What else is next?
They're coming up with stuff to fix the NBA All-Star Weekend. There's some more ideas shooting around out there. One of them is a one-on-one tournament. So here's an idea where you take the biggest stars in the game and they just, go mano a mano. You know who's down with this idea? Sage Man, Kyrie Irving.
What do you think about doing one of those here at the All-Star Game?
I'm open to it.
Yeah?
Yeah, when there's smoke, there's fire. I'm that fire in one-on-one.
We actually get it happen, though? Everyone's so embarrassed to, be embarrassed.
I don't think anybody's embarrassed. I just think that there has to be an appreciation there first of what you do. Because you got to commentate it a little bit differently than you do 5-on-5. There's an appreciation for seeing a 1v1 matchup that I think goes beyond just what the traditional space is now. So maybe if we create that, I'm with that.
What?
And there you have it.
The commentary has to be different. Oh, you don't say?
In a different space.
Wait.
Cartesian woman. That's
He's the best.
Oh, he wasn't that weird.
Oh, no.
No, it wasn't.
On the Kyrie scale, it wasn't that weird. But
I think Kyrie's
to the normal person, that was weird.
I don't know. I'm pushing back against this.
Okay.
I have been too, but
come on.
Sometimes he says stuff. It's
what do you want him to say?
Yes, it'll be great. I look forward to it.
Maybe he doesn't.
This is the thing with Kyrie is now it's all love, right?
Yeah.
And nothing bad, nothing critical should be said about any NBA player. That's kind of his thing now.
Yeah, because he's probably done a lot of personal growth. You know that. So he's probably done that, and now he's probably trying to be more of a positive.
Well, what fun is it to not sit in judgment of everyone and everything?
No,
That's what I want.
I don't agree with his motivations. I'm with you. But the swing towards Kyrie got so overwrought during the finals last year, and it wasn't real. It was very real when he left and he was acting all weird and he was completely egotistical. I didn't like Kyrie either. I thought he was a dick. And then he got to Dallas and he was kind of being cool. You knew Boston was going to beat Dallas. And then there was this whole doesn't Kyrie suck thing. And it wasn't legitimate. I know it was from you, John, but I know that you are still a little bit stuck in it, but you know the vibe of the town. We've been through places where we've hated people. Mm-hmm. You know, there's guys like Matt Cook. Mm-hmm. There's
He's
guys
the first guy that springs to mind.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. There's guys that this town is legit hated, and Kyrie during last year's finals was not one of them. It was a manufactured outrage, and at that point, so I did swing wildly the other way with him, because if he can change, then you can change. Everybody can change. You know?
Yes.
But just interviewing him like that and listening to him talk in Kyrie circles, you say that wasn't that weird. It's by comparison.
What do you want him to say? What do you
I'm
want the
looking
guy
forward
to say?
to it. It should be fun.
Okay, then you should give him notes on what you want him to say next time.
That'd be nice.
And maybe it won't be fun. By the way, 1-on-1 won't be fun.
Oh no, it'd be horrifically boring. And
you got to be able to play best of a million like I did Bird versus Julius.
The build up to it and whatever conversations would take place would be far more entertaining than the actual product.
Yeah, because a lot of N-words being spot out there.
Bird versus Julius, that's like 1990?
Oh, no,
91?
before that was an Apple IIe game.
That was way back.
That was when my mom had an Apple IIe until I graduated high school.
Apple II Plus, baby, right here. Yeah.
The Lakers picked up another win last night, this time over the Minnesota Timberwolves, 111-102. But maybe more interestingly, Anthony Edwards, looking at an automatic one-game suspension. He picked up 2 techs in the loss. He was ejected after the second in the third quarter. With 5:21 remaining in the third, he tossed the ball into the crowd. That got a delay of game warning. He and Jared Vanderbilt called for double techs after they exchanged shoves at the end of the first, and then the second tech came after he argued a no call. He thought he got fouled, which is rare in the NBA for a player to complain about a foul that they felt wasn't called. But he's unraveling. Anthony Edwards
leads the league, obviously, in technical fouls with 16 and 17 last night. Anyone want to guess who is in the top 5 or 10 in the NBA in technical fouls?
Draymond Green.
Draymond Green is tied for third. He has 11.
Okay, so Anthony Edwards, Draymond Green.
Tied for third.
By the way, Anthony Edwards, that's 4 techs now since the All-Star break.
Yes, 17 total. Yes.
I am going to guess a weird name, and I could be way, way off. Rudy Gobert.
No.
Okay,
not
you.
Not in the top 10.
Yeah, I figured that might be wrong. Is there a Celtic?
Yes, there is.
Oh.
It's not Jalen.
Is it Jalen?
No.
I don't know.
Jason Tatum.
Wow.
Tatum has 9 technical fouls. I mean, how many times have we seen him throw up his hands and wave off officials after not getting fouled?
All right.
7 techs. I'm sorry, 9 techs. And you need 16 for suspension. So he's not going to get there. But, yeah, if you think about it, number 2, we haven't talked about him recently, but he's a guy you go, oh, of course. He's one of those guys that no one seems to want. He bounces around.
Rasheed Wallace.
No.
Rasheed Wallace is now saying Jordan was a crappy defender. Do you want to guess the top 5 players in the NBA according to the Ringer's updated ranking?
Well, I want to hear who number 2 was first.
Dylan Brooks.
Okay. That was
Dylan
fascinating.
Brooks.
All right. Do you want to know guess the top 5?
All right.
Top 5 players.
Wembanyama? Or it factors
right
in right this second.
Right now. Wembanyama's 10th.
Okay, because he got hurt and is out. Not hurt, but he's out.
Kelly Tripucci.
Notre Dame all-time.
Nikola Jokic.
Yep.
Shea Gilgeous-Alexander.
Correct.
Jason Tatum
is 4.
Not Anthony Edwards.
Anthony Edwards is 9th.
Yeah, those are the 3 that
3 has the number 3 guy has declined in rating. He was 3 and then he was 2 and now he's back to 3.
Why can't I think?
He's an awful famous guy.
Not LeBron. Where's Luka? Is Luka on this list?
Luka's 5th.
Okay.
Even though last night he didn't play like it.
Kyrie Irving. He's wonderful.
You can't guess who the number 3 best player is. He's a pretty well-known name, John. He's a pretty big superstar.
I'm sure he is.
Kevin Durant.
No, Kevin Durant is not in the top 10. Kevin Durant is 11th. Steph Curry is 6th.
Curry had 56 last night.
I would normally let this go, but I will give you 20 more seconds to think of the third. You've named an awful lot of stars. There's really just one left.
Jokic.
No,
Jokic is number 1.
Oh, that's right.
I had Jokic.
Okay.
You did. You had all the top 5 except for number 3, which I'm curious because you've flirted with all around the top 10, but you have not gotten number 3.
Yeah. It's going to bother me.
Adam knows. Adam 12 knows more than John about this. Adam 12 just said in my ear what it was.
Jalen Brunson.
Oh, my God. Yes, Jalen Brunson's the third best player in the NBA.
Well done, John.
Thank you.
Jalen Brunson's the 13th, according to this.
Okay. Just missed.
Way off.
All right. You have 30 seconds.
We're going to keep going.
Yes, because this is actually fascinating.
I forget who you said. You said Doncic?
Yes.
Yeah.
I said Jokic,
Shea
Gilgeous, Jason Tatum, Doncic. I got them all. Those are 4 of the top 5. But
Zion Williamson.
Then you said Steph Curry. Then you said Kevin Durant,
Brunson, all those guys.
You said Brunson.
Yeah. Boy.
You said Steph Curry.
Not Donovan Mitchell.
No, Donovan Mitchell is not that player. He's number 8.
Okay.
You said Anthony Edwards. Is it another name?
Yeah,
you guys
I did.
Said?
I said Anthony Edwards.
Don't look it up.
I'm not.
No, Hardy
okay.
is.
I know. I was looking up I was honestly looking up the spelling of Kelly Tripucka.
I'm kidding.
Okay.
Because I was just.
I was kidding.
I've already left this conversation.
Hardy, I was kidding.
Who is it?
You really give up?
No, I do. I give up.
All right, I won't tell you until after the break.
Okay.
All right, we will be back in just a moment.
Toucher and Hardy. 98.
gotten 10 or 12 players, but he's not gotten number 3 of the Ringers. In fairness, it's a pretty obscure name. He claims he has not looked it up. Adam 12 knew before either Hardy or John.
I did not look it up. I wanted to think about this. You saw me. I walked outside and did not look it up.
Right. But you don't know Giannis.
Didn't get Giannis until now.
Is he the third? Is he the third best player in the NBA?
Not this year.
No.
Well, no, it just came out. He was 3, then he was 2, then he's 3.
I'm looking at it right there.
I'm looking at it right now. According
Jokic,
to
Alexander, and Tatum in the top 3 right now, in my opinion.
Jokic, Alexander, and Tatum is 4.
Yep.
That's what it is right now, and that's the way it's written, and that's the way it shall be. All right. Now, Nicholas found this. Everyone loves Liz.
Yes.
And Nicholas found a list.
Yes. It is the Rolling Stone is like Mad Magazine. They put little titles over the title. So this is Turd in the Punch Bowl. 50 terrible songs on great albums.
Where?
The
what
Turd
party?
is in the Punch Bowl.
Yeah.
Yes.
Who took them? Where are they?
Where is it? Who made it? What did they have for dinner? There's a lot of explanation that still needs to happen. All right. So these are bad songs on great albums.
Great albums.
Yes.
Okay.
And
now,
so they're saying with the great album.
I can only think of one, and if it's not on this list, fire this list into the deepest reaches of the universe. Because there's one song that should be on there, but I'll hold on to it until see if we get to it.
Can I first tell you what a great album? When people say great albums, I'm trying not to be cynical. I'm listening to Eddie Trunk.
Oh, nice.
He's doing 5 top live albums of all time.
Oh.
I mean, you got everything from Alive.
Frampton Comes Alive.
You got everything from Frampton Comes Alive to Aerosmith's live album. I mean, but, conversations, listen, he's not getting a ton of phone calls. So conversations, they're 10, 15 minutes.
Yeah.
And a guy says, physical graffiti. And he goes, you know what? Physical graffiti is like, they had the album cover and it was made by this company, not the record company, but like the company that made those album covers, like Shkuwaba company. And you could pull it out and it was so cool. And he's like, I think that might be the greatest Led Zeppelin album of all time. And I thought to myself, I never really listened to Led Zeppelin. I was dropping my daughter off at the tutor. I go, I never listened to Led Zeppelin. I go, what were all those Heshers in Detroit thinking? So I put on Physical Graffiti. I put it on Spotify. I'm sorry, Adam, but I put it on Spotify. And I start listening to it. The first song's 8 minutes long, and it's not good. And I go, okay. But I'm gonna get through this. The second song is 8 minutes long, and it's even worse. And then I start thinking, this album is not good at all. And then I start fast forwarding, which I didn't want to do, and I get to Kashmir. And Kashmir is obviously a good song. But I always thought Kashmir was 3 minutes long.
Oh, no. It's 8 minutes long.
Kashmir, 45 minutes long. and it just goes, it does the same thing over and over again. And then has that cool, breakdown. But, it just keeps, which is great. But they do it 45 times in that song. Yeah. Oh, that's a great 3.5-minute song.
Absolutely.
And also, Robert Plant's voice is kind of funny. It can be really good, but it also could be when he's being all bluesy.
Yeah.
Oh, woman.
Yeah, I'm not a fan.
I think I owned Coda. That's the one with the guy harvesting wheat at the Led Zeppelin 4.
No, that's Zoso.
That's Zoso.
Oh, Zoso.
Yeah, Coda's their last album. I think that was the one after Bonham died that they released a bunch of unreleased stuff.
Okay. And
it's considered their worst album.
And I think I had Led Zeppelin 2.
Yeah. I never listened to Zeppelin. I obviously have heard Black Dog and Stairway to Heaven and stuff.
I had 2, which has Whole Lotta Love, Thank You, Livin' Lovin' Made, Moby Dick, Ramble On.
See, I don't know Livin' Lovin'
I like Ramble On.
There's a handful of songs I can tolerate, but I would never sit through a Led Zeppelin.
But I will tell you this. John Paul Jones and Bonham were even on those long, bad songs, they were cool.
All-time great rhythm section.
Yeah, they were great.
I mean, it's no Moon and who's your guy there on bass for the Who there, Hardy?
Oh, Jesus.
Entwistle.
John Entwistle.
No Moon and Entwistle.
Between you and John, but you are guessing John's things, and John, you don't know Entwistle's name. This is all very upsetting. All right, let's get to the bit before anyone embarrasses himself any further.
So again,
am I the only brilliant person here?
Yes, the most brilliant. 50
Thanks,
terrible
Adam.
songs on great albums. So, and when they say great album, like these are all multi-platinum albums that everybody knows and most people own. And we'll start with the last album that the Beatles recorded, Abbey Road, in 1969. What is the worst song on Abbey Road?
Oh, the one with the sound effect, the goofy Maxwell Silver Hammer.
Oh, I got one for sure.
Yeah.
I got one for sure. Synchronicity, Mother.
Yes.
Okay, you
just blew it up. I said I was going to wait until see if we guessed it. That's
on the list.
I was able to sit on it a little bit.
That's what I would have gotten. That was the one thing I could have.
That's number one.
It is the number one song on the entire list. Yes.
Hold on. Play it again because we talked all over it. That's
right.
a
So
shame.
you
Hold
did.
on. Let me get this. You want to?
We have. Not recently, but we've talked about it in the last
a little while
year.
ago. Yeah, because
that
it is a
album,
terrible song.
Synchronicity, Walking in Your Footsteps. It goes, oh my God, and then Mother. Fourth song. But Miss Gradenko, which is a good song.
Yeah.
Synchronicity 2,
which is a great song.
Every Breath You Take, King of Pain, Wrapped Around Your Finger, Tea in the Sahara, which I'll listen to.
Yeah.
I heard it again the other day, and it's kind of silly, but I don't mind it.
I love King
and
of
Murder by Numbers, which again is silly, but I don't.
No, I
mind
like
it.
Murder by Numbers.
Yeah, it's very.
Mother is track 4.
Yeah,
and it's the only one they let Andy
that on
Summers
side
write.
one. That's wild. So there's a couple of Guns N' Roses albums that made this list. So we'll start with their debut album, Appetite for Destruction. This song came in at number 46. What is the worst song on Appetite?
Okay, I would be surprised that there is one.
Yeah.
If they say It's So Easy, I'm going to get pissed because that's the best song on that album.
That is not the answer.
I don't know.
Okay. It's easy to say Maxwell Silver Hammer. On an album like Appetite, it's like, well, every friggin' song is an all-timer. So you got to pick one. And I mean, I don't know. I feel like they needed to fill out the list with that. But you guys know that obviously, like the other big Guns N' Roses, that song that came in at number 3 from Use Your Illusion 2. You guys are going to get that one. What song is that?
In the Ring? Get in the Ring?
No.
Oh, well, Get in the Ring's the worst song on Use Your Illusion.
It's the worst song in their entire catalog.
Yeah.
But
Bob Guccione Jr., you think, yeah, I would like to fight you, Axel. How about that? I would love nothing more to fight you, you tiny-ass mother effer. What are you going to do about it? Just because you're crazy.
You're a little methed out ginger.
Yeah, exactly. What are you going to do about it? Yeah, you got a big sack of balls on you. I know because you wear just because you're wearing catching gear with a pair of spandex doesn't mean that you can fight me. I have no, dude. I don't know. I didn't like Use Your Illusion.
All
that
right,
much.
it's my world.
You want to step into my world? It's a socialist iconic state of bliss.
I've never heard this. Isn't Megadeth?
Right?
I've never even heard this. I've never heard this song in my life.
In listening to these songs, kind of going back through this list, I was like, this is like almost proto like rap rock. Like it's got that bad like we were talking. Who were we talking? We were talking about Field These Dreams the other day. Like it's got that vibe. It's got like a Cottonmouth Kings vibe of like it wants to be rap rock, but it wants to be really heavy and aggressive and in your face.
No, Field These Dreams was not heavy or aggressive.
It's a good thing Use Your Illusion was a double album. Otherwise, they wouldn't have had room for that one.
I know.
Yeah, there's been a lot of speculation that would have been a pretty good.
It would have been an amazing single album.
Yeah. I don't know if it would have been amazing, but yeah.
Okay, so let's, there's like 1, 2, 3 more of these that we could, you know what? We were talking about the Who.
Music's all right.
Double bell for that one.
I don't think you guys get it.
You see, well,
what? She's playing a musical instrument.
Yeah, it's an accordion.
They're talking about a vagina.
What?
No.
And she always wants it from her old man.
No, because the thing goes in and out and in and out. In and out and in and out.
Yeah, when you're doing the
No,
accordion
that's
back and
his
forth.
penis.
Do you have the, I don't have the.
No, it's but that's what it's the song's about. You guys didn't know that?
I want to do the
Maybe that's
alcohol. That's what I'm looking for, Hardy.
okay.
I'm not looking for looking for the alcohol. I only have 2 hands here,
I think
so.
that maybe you
The
guys
penis
don't get
is
it.
guided by the mind.
That's right into the squeeze box.
I thought you guys didn't get it. Maybe. You don't understand why it's funny.
Michael
Other
Jackson's
penis can do it, man. I'll tell you.
Michael Jackson's Thriller is one of the biggest selling albums of all
Was there a
time.
crying song on that album? Is the one where he cries?
There's a bad song on the album.
I never owned Thriller. How about that? But there was the day Matt Wolf in elementary school came to school in a Michael Jackson jacket. And
it was one of the best days of your life.
It's one of the best days of my life. Oh, did we make fun of him?
I had that kid at Greenwood School, too. His name was Eric Oudenkirk, and he was English, which made it even worse.
He came in so happy with himself, and he left so he was never going to wear that again.
Mm-hmm.
We showed him.
No, what song on Thriller?
It's the album closer, which shouldn't even be on there. The Lady and
Looking for Love.
You should have sampled out.
There you go. That would have been great. All right, I'll give you one more. It is from Elton John's "Goodbye Yellow Brick Road," 1963. 73. Excuse me. This song landed at number 4 on the bad songs on
At least
great
Rolling
albums
Stone
list
is
from Rolling Stone.
Rolling Stone is not stuck when they first founded it.
Well, I did, but I obviously I skewed. There's plenty of there's Harry Styles and Taylor Swift on this list.
Yeah, but
too,
I don't have any. I don't have Goodbye Yellow Brick Road as I'm a man.
I mean, if Crocodile Rock is on Yellow Brick Road, that should be on there.
Or Saturday Night's All Right for Fighting.
Another terrible
song.
song.
I figured that though. You guys might know Jamaica Jerk.
By Yellow Brick Road as Funeral for a Friend, Candle in the Wind, Benny and the Jets, which my wife loves, and I can't stand it. Every time it comes on, we're going to listen to it. Goodbye, Yellow Brick Road.
Goodbye, Yellow Brick Road.
And then a bunch of songs that you won't know. Oh, Saturday Night's All Right for Fighting is on there.
I would contend that song's worse.
You know what it is? It's another double album. That's why.
Right. We will be back. Christopher Price is at the Combine. We will talk to him in just a moment.
Stay tuned for more Toucher and Hardy on the Sports Hub. It's here.
he is in Indianapolis, correct, Adam?
That's correct.
The combine is finishing up in Indianapolis. This is where all the writers go to not only the combine's kind of secondary, where they all go to talk to the big wigs around the league. And Christopher Price is out there in Indianapolis. Christopher, thank you for joining us, sir. I know it's early.
It's all good, Fred. How you doing, man?
I'm doing well. Thank you so much for joining us. All right. Okay. What are you hearing? A lot of interesting things coming out. Obviously the Patriots pick fourth. With free agency, that's starting to dry up a little bit. Just tell us what you're hearing about free agency, franchise tags, and that stuff. Let's start with
the
that.
Patriots want to be aggressive, but they also understand the reality of the situation and I think they understand the fact that T. Higgins is going to either reach a deal or get tagged sooner rather than later. So you're going to kind of take him out of the equation here if you're the Patriots. There are also some moves being made. Trey Smith is going to be, if not already been tagged by the Chiefs. There's still a lot of time between now and March 4th. So that kind of narrows the pool a little bit, though, when you talk about the high-end guys. I'm curious about the mid-level guys, and I've been asking around about a lot of the mid-level guys. If you can't go big with one of these big free agent targets, say, again, someone like a T. Higgins, you build out the middle of that roster. You get some of those high-character, culture, locker room guys to be able to lift things as a group. And Vrabel's mentioned that numerous times. He talked about it as an introductory press conference. He's talked about it here. Those are the kind of guys that maybe you should focus on here moving forward.
Okay, and I don't disagree with that, and it's not like I'm in love with T. Higgins, but are the Patriots in any position right now to be out on anybody who could improve them, because they have so many areas of need? I just think it's borderline foolish to say no. We're not gonna consider that angle, because you could consider about anything right now.
Yeah, you really could, and I think that's a great point, Hardy. I don't think that they're necessarily considering themselves out on any major free agent, but I'm just trying to temper expectations when it comes to the high-level guys. I think there are some other venues for you to pursue if you're the Patriots. You hammer the trade market. You call up the Seahawks and say, look, would you take a 3 for DK Metcalf or a 2 for DK Metcalf? You make sure you hammer the draft. There's some venues for this team. And again, you go back to those guys, those mid-level free agents that you think can help turn the culture around in Foxborough. So there are some paths forward. Again, I'm just trying to kind of manage expectations maybe with some of the bigger guys.
Okay, so the reason I brought up the fourth pick in the draft and free agency is because a lot of interesting stuff. Vegas illegally, but not. Brady met with Stafford. Why Stafford would want to go to Vegas, I have no idea.
Lots and lots of money.
Yeah. The Giants are reportedly interested in Stafford, which, again, I don't know why Stafford would want to go to the Giants, but lots and lots of money. There's some people now, I don't know who you've been talking to, have Shedeur Sanders way down, because obviously the Patriots want 2 quarterbacks taken before they pick. What's the word on Darnold, Stafford? What's the word on Shedeur Sanders and Cam Ward?
Stafford is being shopped. You mentioned him with the Raiders. There's the possibility of him to the Giants. I think he's the number one guy in terms of potentially available quarterbacks. Darnold is a little bit down on that list, but you mentioned the Giants. The Giants really, for the Patriots, hold the key here. If the Giants do not have a quarterback come draft time, that is a scenario where you could see Travis Hunter fall to number 4. I think if the Giants need a quarterback, if they're out there and they're looking for Shedeur Sanders, I don't think Shedeur Sanders is necessarily a possibility at number 4, but if the Giants have not solved their quarterback problem, then you could see them take one of those 2 quarterbacks, and then Travis Hunter maybe falls to 4. But I think really, if you're looking for a Travis Hunter scenario, that's probably the best possible option. Admittedly, long term at this point, if you're the or it's a long shot at this point if you're the Patriots, but still, that's possibilities out there.
Chad Graff had a story yesterday in The Athletic about how the Patriots were going to punt on T. Higgins and really spend a lot on free agency on offensive and defensive lines. The main push under Mike Vrabel will be to make sure the guys in the trenches are far better. I tell you that to ask you this. You were just talking about Travis Hunter. If Travis Hunter, Mason Graham, and Will Campbell are all sitting there at 4, and the Patriots have this mandate to get better through the trenches, do they skip Hunter and take one of those other 2 guys?
No. If Travis Hunter is there at 4, you run the card up to the podium. Travis Hunter is a very special player.
Yeah. I agree. I'm just based on what I was reading yesterday. I thought, could they really be thinking on not taking this guy?
Okay, so he's
the one guy. He's the one guy who you would rip up that, the game plan and change things, because if he's available, it changes everything.
Yeah, and he even said yesterday some teams are talking about him as a corner, some talk about a receiver. So you play him wherever you want, and if you have to play him at corner later, play him at corner. I mean, we're all on the same page with that. It's a ludicrous notion that you're not drafting Travis Hunter if he's on the board if you have him as your highest rated player in the draft. That's nonsense, because why? You have Christian Gonzalez, then play him at receiver. All right, so we're talking about this like there's talk of, they wouldn't take Travis Hunter, and there's talk of this. Look, mock drafts. I love mock drafts, and Christopher, I could talk to you about the draft literally 365 days a year. I'm a Jet fan. It's my Super Bowl every year. This is what it is. But this draft in particular, I've asked everyone this question, and everyone's got a different answer. Usually, the top 5 of a draft is what it is. Now, there will be surprises, and people could move a spot or 2. Is this a draft where, like, kind of crazy stuff could happen at the top, where someone we assume might go number 1 could fall out of the top 5? That someone that isn't even in the conversation as a top 10 pick could move into the top 5. Is any of that a possibility?
I think right now, no. Unless we see something along the lines of what, the kind of the stuff that bubbled up a little bit yesterday around Abdul Carter. If the foot thing or if that becomes a problem, he'll fall out of number 1. I think right now he's the number 1 pick in this draft. I think there's going to be some sort of combination. We talked about Travis Hunter before, but I think there's going to be the first 3 right now. If you're holding a draft this afternoon, the first 3 guys off the board in some order are going to be Carter, Cam Ward, and Travis Hunter. And then the Patriots are probably going to have to choose from Will Campbell, Mason Graham, or if you want to trade back, you could probably get Campbell at like 6 or 7. Maybe a trade with the Raiders, and the Raiders move up to 4, and you move back to 6. But really, I don't think, I guess that's my long-winded way of saying I don't think anything right now is going to, be too crazy out there. Again, I think the only thing that might happen, that's possibly unforeseen is if some sort of medical condition bubbles up between now and the draft that would cause someone to fall.
Okay, would someone trade up to 4? Do you think is Shedeur Sanders? Because I'm taking that would be for Shedeur Sanders. So, I don't know if someone's going to trade up for Mason Graham. So, like, is Shedeur Sanders? Is there enough talk around him? Because that's your next thing you're hopeful for, is that Shedeur, someone wants him at 4. How big a possibility is that? What are you hearing about Shedeur Sanders?
I think it's a stretch to consider him at number 4 as we sit here right now. The buzz could build between now and the draft. He could have a great pro day. Something could happen again to one of the other guys. But I think to consider Shedeur Sanders at number 4 right now I don't see him as the number 4 overall pick, at least as we sit here in late February. So I think it's a long shot to think about, maybe the Raiders trading up and taking him at 4. But look, it's the Raiders. Anything is possible. So, I think ultimately it's a bit of a stretch to consider him at number 4.
Well, have they tampered with him? Because then we'll know exactly what they want to do. Okay, so do you think it's a mistake? Are you hearing it's a mistake that Shedeur is not working out at the combine?
Yeah, a little bit. Okay. I do. I think he needs to help himself a little bit here again for all those reasons that we just talked about. I think he's not. I think he's. I don't want to say he's not a top 10 candidate right now, but I'll go back to what I said before. I don't think he's number 4, and I think he needs to do everything he can do to be able to climb that ladder.
It's funny because the things they say about him are not as strengths are not so great. Like, he's tough. All right. Like, I'd prefer you didn't get hit.
Yeah, you can take a beating.
Yeah,
Excellent.
like he's not particularly fast. He doesn't have a great arm. I guess he's accurate.
But he hangs in there.
he doesn't have great size, or he hangs the ball on the ball too long. I mean, there's or he can't extend plays.
Yeah,
I mean,
if he worked out at the combine, and let's just say he lit it up some way, shape, or form, then he'd be for sure he'd be a top 5 pick in this draft.
Did Bo Nix and Penix work out at the combine last year? You guys might not remember, but if you could look that up, because I would guess at least one of them did.
I think both of them did.
Yeah, and Shedeur Sanders got a lot of. I think that's
they were both there.
Thank you. So that proves my point. I mean, I bet you Penix was a better prospect certainly than Sanders, and Nix maybe the same. But people like Nix. I don't know. That's retrospect, but yeah.
Well, I'll say this: the thing about Penix was he had these intangibles, and I think we may have even talked about this before the draft. People loved him. People guys who played with him, they worshipped him. And I don't necessarily hear the same thing about Shedeur Sanders.
Exactly. So my point is that if Penix and Nix worked out in that, were in the combine last year. Why does Shedeur Sanders think that he doesn't have to work out in the combine?
I agree. I agree. It's look, when you need to do everything you can do, when you're not considered if you're not Abdul Carter in this draft or Travis Hunter, you need to do everything you can do to be able to get into the top 10, top 5. And I don't think he's doing everything he can do to do that.
Okay. If you are the Patriots and from what you're hearing right now, and you're sitting at 4, it goes Cam Ward, Travis Hunter, Abdul Carter in whatever order. Right now, is there anyone at 4 that sticks out to you as the best player in the draft, and you're hearing that as a majority from majority of people?
Mason Graham.
Yeah, that I've been reading a lot about this guy.
Yeah,
the last
and
few
look,
days.
it's not gonna. He's not gonna sell as many season tickets as Travis Hunter. He's not going to be as anywhere above the marquee talent as a guy like Travis Hunter. But he feels like a guy right now who Mike Vrabel could hang his hat on as his first overall pick. And you talked about building from the inside out before. This is a great example of a guy who's capable of doing that. You put him in a front 7 next to a healthy Christian Barmore and an engaged Keon White, and you have a pretty good defensive front if all of those guys are healthy. And then you start to figure, Gonzalez into the mix and Bentley, and you start to look at that defense and say they're capable of going places. They're capable of doing things. But Mason Graham, for me, feels like, remember how, and John, you speak to this, Richard Seymour was like Belichick's guy. That was his defining draft pick, like his second draft class, 2001, the 6th overall pick. That was his guy. Mason Graham feels the same way when you talk about Mike Vrabel.
And just selfishly for 1 second, Tyler Warren, the tight end out of Penn State, is he getting a lot of buzz by any chance?
Yeah, he is, and he's really good. He's a guy. He's a difference maker. He is. If the Patriots needed a tight end, this would be a great year for a guy like that. There are a lot of guys like that in this draft who are great players, but it's the wrong year if you're a New England fan. I love Ted McMillan. I think Ted McMillan's going to be a really good player in this.
Yeah, he's very polarizing. It's weird. We had a guy who thought he was as good as Dunze or Dunze last year. And then we talked to Alex Barth yesterday, and he's hearing that he's going to be in the 20s.
Yeah, he's slipping down draft boards. He's the big faller this year.
Right.
Yeah, I will say this. I heard one guy last night say, well, he's like a good version of N'Keal Harry.
Oh, good.
Oh, great. That's fantastic if you're a Patriots fan.
Because he's big, he's big
big
and
target.
He's not fast. Yeah, that's
exactly.
the thing.
And he can't get
guys
open.
like that out there. They're guys like Ashton Genty, who I think is going to be a really good player in this league, who's just not a fit for the Patriots at this time. There's a lot of really good offensive players. But this draft, ultimately, talking about Mason Graham, this is a really good draft for defensive linemen, defensive tackles. Guys like Graham, there are a lot of good guys like that out there, but I think Graham is the best of the best.
Yeah, I had a feeling that was going to start happening. All right, listen, Christopher Price, thanks. I know it's tough to get up in the mornings because you're out late doing all the work and everything, but we really appreciate it as always.
Take care, Fred. We'll talk soon, man.
All right, take it easy.
By the way, Burt Breer had this big primer on the combine, and he talked about Mason Graham, and he said he talked to a scout who called Graham a block destroyer, and people are in love with him. He is the guy that is emerging as the fit for the Patriots and a guy who could definitely go 4. This is what the buzz has been the last week.
Tyler Warren was Penn State's offense. Like Tyler Warren at the tight end position was Penn State, who were very good. They made the semifinals, right? Penn State, yes.
Yeah.
Penn State, he was their entire
They beat
offense.
Boise State to get there. Yes,
yeah.
that's
And
right.
I think they didn't throw to have a completion to a receiver in their semifinal game.
Jeez.
And Tyler Warren was their entire offense. Look, I'm not taking a tight end if I'm the Patriots.
No, I was just going to say that's not a fit for
No.
But
And neither is Ashton Genty. But if I was a team at like that wasn't the Patriots, and one of those guys were on the board, I would take a swing.
I hope someone's dumb enough to take Shedeur Sanders in the top 3. I would love Travis Hunter here.
I don't think that's going to end up happening.
Lord, that'd be great.
All right, we had a really fun phone call yesterday, and it turns out that guy called a national show after us, and his life's not going too well. We'll get into why that's not surprising and a bunch of other things in just a moment.
Sports Hub headlines presented by describes himself in 7 words.
A guy in tights and a cape.
And Hardy with blunt honesty.
I am not known as Mr. Fun.
Dutcher and Hardy continues on the Sports Hub.
I did not know this, AC. This is interesting. Go ahead.
What is something you did not know?
What you're about to say.
I told your producer, you scum. Matter of fact, good morning. Thank you so much for taking my call. I think that's the best way to start. Okay. You scumbag of the earth. You need to stop making fun of Mr. Feinbaum callers. You know, there's some stupid callers out there, but we're passionate. Why don't you make something relevant? Why don't you tell your callers to be more passionate so you don't have to make fun of the Feinbaum callers? Can you do that for everybody on the Feinbaum Nation?
AC, where are you from?
I'm your tribal chief. Bangladesh.
All right, so he did this whole character, and he was very insulting. And lo and behold, he's running hot because Feinbaum's on in the afternoon, and AC called the Feinbaum show yesterday. And wonder what he had to say.
He called us in the morning, called Feinbaum in the afternoon.
Yes, and here is what we have.
Let's check in with our man in Bangladesh.
Mr. Feinbaum, thank you so much for taking my call. How you feeling?
Same as yesterday.
I'm sorry?
Keep going.
Yeah, you can tell Paul don't like this guy.
He's not a fan.
He knows that he was mean to us, and Paul doesn't like that. Yeah. Again, I'm not being sarcastic. Paul's a great, great radio host.
Same as yesterday.
I'm sorry?
Keep going.
Oh, sure. I apologize. Well, you let your pony leaguers know, your pony leaguer callers, I'm talking about Fat Chris, who cries like no tomorrow, and AJ, I did something, again, that they never have done in their lifetime. I took care, Toucher, and whoever the hell they are. Your stupid morning, I smashed them so hard. Right now, they're in oxygen. Right now, they may not even make it. So, pony leaguers, you can have your podcast, but if you like Mr. Feinbaum, you got to learn to call and defend Mr. Feinbaum and the callers and the listeners in the other stations the way I did. Now, let me get this straight. So, you have this idiot scroll. He wants to see.
How would Paul Feinbaum have any idea what he's talking about?
Well, I don't think there is any chance he would have any idea what he was talking about. But I did need oxygen yesterday. He's right about that.
Yeah, right. He really let us have it. But I really let him have it.
It was to the point where when Ryan texted us last night, he said, "Who?
Yeah.
Who called the show?
Yeah, we were reeling.
Oh, yeah, that guy.
Because especially that hard-hitting personal attack. I wish he would have been more clear about what he was talking about, because Feinbaum is just letting this go because it's just words. I mean, he knows this show. I wish he could have expressed himself better, but not Feinbaum, the caller, but that's wishing too much. I mean, if you're going to brag about yourself, at least be semi-coherent about it.
Right.
Now, let me get this straight. So you have this idiot scroll. He wants to see AC and Jim. Did I get that right, or am I wrong?
So far, you're on track.
Yeah, well, AC versus Jim would never happen because the family loves, respects, and embraces Jim. We love the dark side. And matter of fact, we love John in St. Louis. And just like John, I got to pay my price. So starting next week, I would not be calling your show. Unfortunately, I'll be in jail, but I'm going to love it. John, I'll meet you there. Jim, I love you, bro. We all love you. So we enjoy the dark side because I love it. We're going to conquer them all.
He's going to jail? Maybe they'll lose the key. Remember that old joke?
Oh, yeah. So AC
Feinbaum's a big fan of AC.
Yeah. I wonder why AC is going to love jail so much. I don't know if being traded for merchandise is maybe that's the plan. I would hope not, because I don't think that's fun for anybody, but I don't know.
Having to give up precious parts of your body for packs of ramen noodle.
Or, don't eat the honey bun that they leave on your bunk. That I've been told. I don't know why he's so excited about it, but how shocking. How shocking, two things. That the guy who incoherently yelled at us and then incoherently couldn't tell the story correctly on Paul Feinbaum is in some way run afoul of the law. And 2, that a call that is that out of the blue, just a lunatic screaming and yelling, doesn't have things going well in his life.
Yeah.
That's kind of the thing, is that unless one of us, generally me, has said something that personally offends you in that, like, you knew the person or was a big fan of someone or like something about you that you feel personally offends you, I can understand then going like, hey, dickhead.
Yeah.
But a general thing at like 7 a.m, a diatribe for no reason. We know that, like, your life sucks. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, I know when my life sucks, I'm much more apt to be lashing out. You going crazy at 7 a.m. for no reason, unprovoked in any way. Not shocking that there is a jail term on your way, but I like that he had unfinished business. You know, in Goodfellas, like, you go out and there's movies that before you're going into prison, you go out, you get laid, you get wasted with the boys, and then you get in the cab and you're like, take me in. Or you get in the limo and you go, take me in, and then they take you in. There's even a strategy. Maybe you beat me up a little bit, fellas, before I get in there so they think I'm tough. That was in the Spike Lee movie. And so, there's all these strategies. But a lot of people, the loose ends they have to tie up before they go away for a while is to call the radio shows and let them know they're leaving.
Yeah. I don't know that I've heard Feinbaum outwardly dismiss a caller like that who hasn't said something like personally offensive to either him or another caller.
No,
like that.
he had in him not even to investigate why he was going to jail.
Yeah.
He was barely listening at the end. Did he say he's going to jail?
Yeah, this is not a hot time for the Feinbaum show, as college football couldn't be further away than it is now. Like, this is like, because I don't think people call in about like college basketball and stuff. I think it's almost exclusively about college football. So, like, recruiting's over and the season spring practices, I suppose, are going on, but, nothing's really cooking right now. So this is his absolute dead time. So he takes the phone call, and Paul's so great at it. Like, if the caller he had any respect for at all, he would go, oh, you're going to jail. Why are you going to jail? I mean, he's had guys on that were in an ambulance going to the hospital with their 6th heart attack. That's not a lie. Real. Newspaper stories about it. The guy called Feinbaum in an ambulance while having a heart attack in case he was going to die. He wanted to talk to Paul. And Paul took the call and, like, let the guy talk, and it was magical. This guy goes, I'm going to jail, and Paul's like, good. I hope they throw away the key, you stupid prick.
Man, I love you.
But so you read it right, Hardy. I know you're not you haven't had a lot of experience with the Feinbaum show, but you're absolutely right. His total disdain for this guy is very, very rare. Paul has gone to funerals of callers on his show. Like, Paul's like a really good guy and appreciates these people as lunatics as they can be. This AC, not surprising that a jail term, but I am curious why he's looking forward to it. And I've embraced the dark side. Well, then you should be in jail forever.
Both ironic and unfortunate that a guy named AC is going to a place without AC when it's going to be 90 degrees and humid next week. I've already checked the weather in Bangladesh.
Well, there's going
to be comfortable in jail.
He's AC. There's going to be plenty of people with DC willing to fill the AC. Maybe he will turn into DC and AC will enter him.
It's all about plugs and outlets.
It really is. I hold the lock and you are the...
Oil Change. Enjoy quick and convenient vehicle maintenance this month. Visit NewEnglandOilChange.com for 15% off your drive-through oil change at Valvoline Instant Oil Change, the official oil change of busy people.
From the Town Fair Tire Studios, this is your home for every Patriots game.
Look into the end zone, trying to keep the play alive. Falling down, he throws to the end zone. It's got it! Touchdown!
WBZ-FM at HD Boston. 98.5, the Sports Hub, a Beasley Media Group station. Essential Sports Hub headline, presented by Celsius Energy Drinks.
Make it 5 straight losses for the Bruins after the New York Islanders skated to a 2-1 win at TD Garden last night. Alexander Romanov and Kyle Palmieri each scored once for New York, and goaltender Ilya Sorokin made it stand up with 38 saves in net. These are not the best of days for the team captain Brad Marchand.
I mean, talk about frustration. I don't think that we feel frustrated all the time. I mean, I think there's moments where you're frustrated that you didn't get the outcome you wanted, or maybe we didn't play to our standard. But we don't come to the rink every day frustrated.
Bruins' next game is in Pittsburgh tomorrow afternoon. They'll be without Trent Frederick, who is now week to week with a lower body injury. Celtics had last night off. They welcome the best team in the NBA, the Cleveland Cavaliers, to TD Garden tonight. Brandy and Max have the pregame at 7 and the tip-off at 7:30 here on 98.5 The Sports Hub. Jaylen Brown, Drew Holiday, and Luke Cornett are all questionable. In Patriots news, The Athletic reported yesterday their offseason plans do not involve wide receiver T. Higgins. They will instead focus on building through the offensive and defensive lines during this offseason. The Las Vegas Review-Journal reports the Raiders and Rams quarterback Matthew Stafford have found common ground on a new contract, but it's not known whether the Raiders and Rams will be able to work out a deal involving the quarterback. And the Red Sox beat Detroit yesterday in Lakeland, Florida, 6-5. Garrett Crochet will start against Philadelphia this afternoon in Clearwater, Florida. Sports Hub headlines are brought to you by the Prime Rib Dinner at the 99, available every Friday after 4 p.m. and all day Saturday and Sunday. 16 ounces of slow-roasted USDA choice prime rib with 2 sides. You gotta love the 9s. I'm John Wallach at Boston's Home for Sports, 98.5 The Sports Hub. Your next update at 8:30.
Boston plays here.
Coming through the slot, close shot, save, rebound, scored!
98.5 The Sports Hub. Hey, if your alarm clock sounds like this is the show for you. Toucher and Hardy, the Sports.
Hey, we're Toucher and Hardy. We are brought to you by FanDuel Sportsbook. With just our minds. All right, you can watch us on YouTube. Subscribe to 98.5 The Sports Hub on YouTube. Podcasts are the thing. I really like this one podcast. There's 2 seasons of it. It's called Once Upon a Time In. And the first one's Once Upon a Time in the Valley, and it's about the Tracy Lord scandal when she was underage and getting to porn. They find her first boyfriend, and they find the guy she lost her virginity to. It's really interesting. It's intriguing of how it all happened. And then they did Once a Time in Bennington College, and it's about when Tart and Bret Easton Ellis were going there, and it's very interesting. But for every one of those, there's a million bad ones. For instance, yesterday I heard that there was something about the Wonderland murders because I had just heard the Tracy Lords thing.
Oh.
That was the John Holmes thing. I tried 3, and they started off with, hey, how's it going? And I'm like, oh, this is about the Wonderland murders, huh? Shut up. The podcast that was good is this lady went out and did 3 years worth of research and found all these people and got them on talking. And it's insane. She sat down with Bret Easton Ellis for 5 days, made friends with him. It found out who the characters in these fictional books are represented by and interviewed them. That's when that stuff's at its best. And just one more thing before we do this. Sirius, it sounds like Stern's retiring, which is sad. Because, he's the greatest of all time. And it sounds like Sirius' plan was to sign Smartless, the Jason Bateman and the gay guy from Will and Grace and
Will Arnett.
Will Arnett's podcast.
And Sean Hayes, yeah.
Sean Hayes. And Anthony Cumia made the best point about it. He's they did that for a press release. If you think you're replacing Howard Stern with 3 celebrities whose names got them to people to screw around for an hour listening to them, you think that's replacing the Howard Stern show. You're morons. You're just the depth of the idiocy of people that run media companies. These are the same people that hired David Lee Roth. They're just real morons. You don't know how to pivot. Find talent that people want to listen to live. You cheap sons of $100 million for an hour a week podcast. And everyone, Lord knows, is going to subscribe to a live service with 150 channels to decipher how to get the podcast. You're an idiot.
They're not going to do it.
No, they're not going to do it at all. You're morons.
They're going to ruin what has been built up for you, and they're somehow going to destroy it with spending money on stuff like this. But
You
whatever.
got that to be a success by having the greatest live programmer in audio, live talent in audio, and you're replacing it with David Lee Roth or Whoopi Goldberg or whatever other mistakes you made on terrestrial, in quotations, radio. All right.
So when it comes to podcasts, we've kind of taken a turn of trying to punch up a little bit and going after people. This is neither punching down nor punching up, because I've listened to a portion of this podcast, and this is a radio guy who is now doing a podcast, and it's pretty good. Some decent guests. I think you'll be particularly interested in who his guest is that Ryan stumbled across. Now, I'll tell you a little bit about the podcast, see if you can guess who the guest is, and we'll start that way. So the name of the podcast is The Big Truth, and here's the description. Anthropologist, custom motorcycle builder, laser tattoo removal specialist, ex-radio DJ, punk rock / hardcore vocalist, and now podcaster Big Truth interviews interesting people who live outside the mainstream conventional box.
Well, he's outside the mainstream. He's removing tattoos.
Yeah, very
good.
good.
To get
Very
people
good.
back on the straight and narrow.
So again, the tone of each episode can range from casual conversation to life history style interviews. Shows fun, educational, inspirational, and highlights alternative career paths and explores different views on contemporary topics.
Well, that sounds like fun.
It is. And let me tell you something. The guy's got a decent setup, and it's something that is both watchable and listenable, especially when you know who the guest is, when you personally know this person who is a guest on the Big Truth podcast. And he's interviewed local hardcore vocalists. He's interviewed people from the spirit world and from the alcohol world. Think of somebody who is, I guess, maybe had his hands in a lot of different pies over the years when it comes to marketing things and when it comes to knowing people in town, and maybe just a guy who just knows a lot of people and knows a lot of things, knows how to get you things.
You're telling me that I get to sit down with Big Truth?
Let me tell you something. That is an excellent guess, but you're so close.
Hey, I'll be a guest on your show.
Chris Rucker is a guest on the Big Truth podcast.
Yeah, it's about time that I was on, because I'm telling the truth. Limo Steve, he's going to be here in 10 minutes.
We didn't even get to the introduction part, Ryan, but Fred, go ahead and play just the intro and see if you would have guessed it on this, because you guessed it too early.
Okay, so Chris Rucker is a guy that is a good friend of mine, and he was a promotions guy here when we had a promotions department that was larger than one person. And there was all this work heaped upon one person. There was many people that could do the work. It wasn't all just laid upon one person. And Kelly does a great job. She's overworked, but she does a great job. All right, here's the
introduction. I screwed this up. I should have let you listen to a bit of this before I gave you clues.
I'm too smart. You underestimated me. I mean, that's not the first or the last time.
Yes, once again, we have liftoff. I want to thank you for tuning in to this episode of the Big Truth podcast. And I'm stoked to be sitting here today, well, at least remotely, even though he's been over at the shop the last few months, if you've been around on bike night, with my man, who is it?
Yeah, I've been around on bike night. Fred, let's go to the Red Sox game. We'll meet in Watertown. Cool. Let's take a lift from there. No. I know exactly where to park. I was head of the street team. Okay. 45 minutes later, we're parking in Coolidge Corner.
mile and a half away.
A mile and a
I
half
was going to say
away.
Northeastern. I know all the side streets at NU.
No,
3 meters on Opera Place. I'm going to grab one of those.
Whoops, I haven't been by Fenway in 5 years. It's changed a bit. There's no more alleys.
I can't get in the garage underneath the old BCM building anymore.
Yeah,
key card doesn't work anymore.
Dude, it's about time you talked about my alternative lifestyle.
So see if you would have gotten this.
Old friend, spanning decades through the world of music, punk rock, hardcore, and hip hop.
Oh, yeah. This is the guy that was listening to Saxon as loud as he could. Rucker loved being in his office back when everyone had offices. And he would play the worst music as loud as he could to, like, insist, like, check out what I'm listening to. The Saxon box set. Saxon, these British heavy metal band that's complete garbage.
Yeah, they've sold 2 copies of that. One to him and one to Eddie Trunk.
Exactly. Well, Eddie Trunk doesn't buy them.
Right. Come on, Adam.
So you've seen him here at Bike Night, set up over there and spreading the word about that stuff, which is important because, obviously we got a lot of riders on this show, so we'll probably get into some knowledge that
I don't think I screwed up. I don't think you would have guessed it based on this. But let's listen to the reveal. Let's listen to of when he actually reveals.
Do I have it or
no? I have it.
Okay, so what is Bike Night motorcycles?
Yeah.
Is Rucker now riding motorcycles?
We don't know.
You can't go on. This is just for you and Adam. You can't go on the tee unarmed. Gotta carry a hunting knife in your sock. What are you gonna do with that, Chris? You gonna stab someone to death? All right, go ahead.
He was our boy Chris Rucker and the reveal on the Big Truth podcast.
he is a representative of the Jeffrey Glassman injury attorneys of the injury law group. I've seen you more in the last 3 months than I have in the last 8 years. Chris Rucker.
I know. Truth, good to see you, buddy. Hey, first off, congratulations on the great podcast. Congratulations on the shop. Our roots together run so deep, and I feel like I'm in Truth, 3.0 or 4.0, right? It's like this is like a whole new world. And you've done such a good job with it, and I love the podcast, right? How about the Street Dogs podcast last time around? Wow,
Okay.
Yeah.
So this goes
I was real into the hardcore scene when I was the lifeguard at the country club. I was super the country club that we belonged to.
When I was working as a Manny.
Yeah, exactly. When I was babysitting billionaires' kids, I was knee deep in the hardcore scene.
So
I was the original vocalist for SSD.
This podcast goes on for an hour. And again, Big Truth does a nice job.
Are you sure you want to promote this? I mean, it sounds like he's got to get a lot of ears off us.
Well, it's similar audiences. I don't mind sharing a little bit, but Ryan did a very smart thing, and he listened to it for a bit, and he said there was one word that seemed to get repeated more than any other. So what word other than the or and gets repeated more than any other in this podcast, according to the comprehensive search that Ryan Beaton did on this podcast?
Well, Rucker says, know what I mean? But
that's not
constantly.
a word.
Okay, but that's not the word. Dude.
Fred, you're on fire this morning. You're absolutely on fire.
He's one of my best friends.
Yes.
Yeah, you would know.
Yeah, I don't want to sound like an infomercial, dude. You're probably on the poster
No one's
list,
helping
dude.
you out. You're on your own, dude.
Those dudes are corporate, and they're going to try to keep the margins high.
Yeah, good luck, dude.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, dude. Head was on a swivel. I got to maintain space because there are some heavy hitters in there.
Now, the only question is, and this is going to be, I will caution you right now, it's going to be disappointingly low. How many times the word dude?
Well, you got so many things going on, dude. I don't know.
How many times it appears in this podcast?
It's disappointingly low.
It's disappointingly low.
15.
Wallach?
25.
Wow, Wallach very close. 24 times you hear.
617-777-7778.
It's out there, man, dude. Landlines are available.
Yeah, there you go.
Well, you got so many things going on, dude.
Dude, how about the Street Dogs with the landline? Remember when you used to just be able to call and they'd pick up the phone? Dude.
Yeah, good luck, dude. 1, 2, 3, 4. Dude.
dude, 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 dude.
I love Chris. That's an interesting podcast guest, but I do love Chris. I love Chris Rucker. He's a great guy. Well, good for the.
Good luck, dude.
What's the?
The big truth.
Esoteric says truth is one of my best friends. Your Rucker impression is incredible. Everyone knows Chris, and so there. Congratulations to the what's it called?
The Big Truth.
The Big Truth podcast.
No one's helping you out. You're on your own, dude.
That's right.
If you did an hour with Chris, you are truly a talented broadcaster. So there you have it. All right.
Oh yeah, dude. Head was on a swivel.
And what's it? I think they advertise here. What's the company Rucker's with?
Jeffrey Glassman, I believe it is.
Correct.
Attorney Jeffrey Glassman.
Fantastic attorney and company. All right. Love you, Rucker. We all love you. All right. We'll be back in just a moment. Cedric Maxwell will join us.
1, 2, 3, 4.
Dude, 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 dude.
You're listening to Toucher and Hardy on the Sports Hub.
College basketball reaching its most exciting stretch of the season. Right now, new customers on FanDuel get $150 in bonus bets when your first $5 bet wins. That's $150 to bet on everything from the conference clashes to the tournament upsets.
Hey, we're Toucher and Hardy. Adolfo texted me, Adolfo Gonzalez. He said, your Rucker impression made me nostalgic for your Jim Rome impression. You know why they sound the same? Because they sound exactly the same. My Rucker and Jim Rome impressions are the best impressions I do, if by accuracy. What is up? Repping the... See, I'm in a little bit of a higher register than is Chris Rucker. Rucker, what is up? Dude, I have to have a weapon at me at all times, dude. Saxon's album. What is up, dude? Maxwell is the Celtics color analyst on the 98.5 The Sports Hub Celtics Radio Network. Hi, Cedric.
Hey, gentlemen. How y'all doing this morning?
It's you know what it is? TGIF. If I could say that, Cedric. We're having fun. How are you?
I am doing excellent today. Just anticipating this game tonight and trying to calm people down about the Detroit game that they lost. And I thought that the last game the Celtics played, no Jaylen Brown, second night of a back-to-back against a very hungry team coming from Toronto to Detroit. I think it was a scheduled loss.
Well, let me tell you something. I didn't need to be calmed down, Max, because John Wallach's wife's husband, John Wallach, called that outcome well before the game was played, and he had me prepared for a bit of a letdown due to various reasons on the second night of back-to-back. So John called it. He knew. Hashtag John knew.
John knows stuff like that. He gets involved. He does all his research. He knows when and where and what we're doing and what the Celtics are doing. So, yeah, I would say he'd be very prepared. He would be the person I would listen to if I was doing any kind of betting.
See, that's two people in the last 24 hours that have told you that.
But now, someone else said that.
But
too.
now explain to Max why you were so beside yourself, John. You know, you was losing sleep over this.
The only reason, Max, for all the reasons you mentioned, plus they expended a lot of energy in holding off Toronto, and you saw Jaylen Brown get hurt and figured he wouldn't play the next night. It just seemed like a lot, considering you were going to face a team that was as hot as Detroit was.
Yeah, I think it was. Kay Cunningham, they've beaten this team, I think, 9 times in a row. So I think, obviously, they were due. They've been playing well. They're very physical. They're young, hungry. So it was a bigger game for them than it was the Celtics. And they took full advantage. Give them full marks for playing well. Celtics got back in that game. Celtics very seldom, when they hit that magic number of 23s or 21 or 22 threes, they don't lose basketball games, but their defense was very porous in that game versus Detroit.
Okay, so I'm really, obviously the Celtics-Cavaliers game tonight's huge, but as regular season games go in February. But I'm kind of interested in the East, like that big pileup between the Knicks, Pacers, Bucks, and Pistons. Do you have a team that you like the best out of them in terms of like who could have? Let's just expect Cleveland and Boston to be in the Eastern Conference Finals. Mm-hmm. Is there a team out of the rest of that pack that you like the best?
The team that really scares me the most, if I was thinking about potentially, would be Orlando. The Wagner brother, he one of them is out, but the other one plays very well. Van Caro is very good. They play hard. So Orlando would be the team I would be more concerned about out of those teams you mentioned. You know what the Bucks can do. They've made some transition, made some changes. But I think Bobby Portis is out for so many games with substance abuse, so he won't be around. So, yeah, I would be Orlando.
Okay. The Celtics have had a lot of trouble in Orlando, and when Orlando comes here, and right now, if the season ended today, Orlando would probably play the Celtics in the first round.
Thanks, John. I appreciate that.
No problem. That's what I'm here for, Max.
I know it, John.
I'm here to back you up. That's my job.
All right, Cedric. Saddlebags, as I normally say to you. Open them up, big fella.
Cedric, have you ever been lounging by the pool with John and he'll get up to take some kind of bathroom break, and then you will take his phone,
a leak
or a dump, and you'll go through his phone and you'll look at his pictures?
No, I don't do that. John is he's too good of a guy for me to try to sneak and do anything. John would show me his pictures before I would have to go through his phone. He's not that kind of guy.
Oh, really? What is
Yeah.
it? You know, John has proclivities towards certain kinds of ladies. Did you know that?
Family pictures. That's what he shows me.
Okay.
Oh, because
Lovely wife and his kids. That's as far as it goes with me and John.
no, John likes big butts. He loves them. He loves them.
All right. Who made it, Sir Mix-a-Lot? Is that what he says? I like big butts. Okay.
You know the answer to that. You just asked a question you knew the answer to. You knew damn well that was Sir Mix-a-Lot.
Okay, I didn't.
Yeah, John can't get enough of them. He loves them. Don't you, John?
I'm a fan.
Yeah, he loves them.
John, you and I happen to be on the same page.
See? Look at that.
Yeah.
Why don't you get a divorce so you and Cedric can go on the road and start chasing down some ladies?
No, we just call that butts or us. That's all.
You guys should open a club.
It's a winner.
Do what we do.
We'll go to Atlanta. It'll be perfect.
Oh, no, there's too much competition. You don't want to go there. You want to go to like Salt Lake City where there's a shortage. That's what
You're saying that with a lot of confidence, my friend. Have you invested already in this whole butts are us? Because you talked about Salt Lake City, where it is a little flat out there.
Well, he's sitting on the domain name, but otherwise he hasn't made any monetary investment.
Cedric, I lived in Atlanta for 8 years. I'm very familiar with the adult culture of Atlanta. I've been to it.
God Almighty, man! You go up in the club and there if you are a butt person, you're in hog heaven. Oh my goodness!
I mean, yeah. If you go, I never have been, but Magic City is apparently a butt paradise. A butt paradise.
Clap! I love it.
Yeah,
well, that's what they do. They do. They clap right there for you.
Yeah. Yes, they do.
All right. If any of you have a basketball question, Cedric, feel free to pivot.
Okay.
I'm too down to
I wasn't going to do it, but now since you've given the green light, and this will be fun, Max, because it'll be a chance to prove Fred wrong at the end of the season. Fred doesn't think the Lakers are going to do anything, and every time they get another win, they just got another one last night, I'm thinking, all right, I'm not saying they're going to make the Western Conference Finals, but I think they could play spoiler in a first-round matchup, or at the very least push a good team farther than they want to go in an early round of the playoffs. What do you think of the Lakers' chances postseason?
It is. It's starting to make me ill thinking about that. They are playing very well, much better than I thought they would be playing. LeBron James has been unbelievable again. This GOAT conversation with him and Jordan, man, I'm telling you, the more he plays and the longer he plays and the better he plays, that conversation is starting to be a little crazy. And to get Luka over, I thought they would be lacking in playing defense. But they've been playing very well defensively. But we'll see what happens during the playoffs when you can't sneak up on teams.
Yeah, well, it's kind of a hope, too, because I hate J.J. Redick.
Yeah.
LeBron is playing really well, and he's playing back-to-backs, and I'll give him all the credit in the world for it. Is there, knowing what you know about the NBA and his age, and he played in the Olympics, do you think LeBron can keep up like an elite level of play through a long playoff run?
I didn't think he could, at this point of his age. I thought a couple of years ago I saw him falling off the cliff, and I thought it would be done. But he has transitioned and fooled all of us. And seems like he's getting like that fine wine. He's only getting better with time. His ability to shoot the basketball, he's shooting a lot better. Maybe because his son is there. Maybe, he's trying to prove something to his son. But in L.A., to make that change, to get Luka, it's going to be interesting to see what they do. And yes, I would say in the first round, they could give some people some problems. I don't know who they're going to play, but one of the top teams out there, it would. But they're all bunched up so much out there other than OKC. I think they could give some people some problems.
I wanted to ask, we seem to ask you about Philadelphia a lot, Max, but there always seems to be news whenever we have you on. And the latest is Joel Embiid may or may not play the rest of the season. Paul George looks like he's joyless when he's playing, and he's hurt. If you're Philadelphia, do you blow it up and start over? It just seems like the Embiid, George, Maxey thing isn't working and will never work.
The process is now over. You think about what they've done. They got Joel Embiid. He played well for a while. He was dominant. He was on a line, John, that I looked at that he would be a Hall of Famer. Now, I don't know. He was an MVP, but, he's been so often hurt. Paul George, this is not working with what he wants to do. They went out and got Markelle Fultz. That didn't work. So whatever they've tried in Philly, I agree. I think it is that time now to pull the plug. I think, John, you remember when you had kids and they were in the bathtub so long and the water would turn brown? Pull the damn plug and put some more water in because I just don't see it working right now in Philly.
You remember that?
Yes, water's dirty. Not what you were thinking.
You would leave them in there until they had no choice but to defecate.
Oh, God.
Nasty.
That's too long.
I had a son who did that. Every time I put him in the water, he would just he thought that was just his clue. I was like, damn, man, wait till you get in the tub. Wait till you get in the toilet. No, he was a happy camper when he was when he was 2 years old. Oh, you knew it was coming. Oh, my God.
It's very relaxing.
My daughter would sit there and she'd be like, Daddy, he did it again. He'd just be smiling. He would be smiling.
Yeah, I mean it's like at home birth.
It's those moments I always thought about, and I still think about when like my mom would say, "Oh, cherish this time when they're babies because it goes by so fast." And the whole time I was thinking it can't go by fast enough.
It's the biggest lie that every parent tells you.
It's the worst.
Yeah, it's true.
Yeah, we've been over that. Yeah,
I can't wait for them just to. Oh, I want them to remain babies. No, I don't. No, I don't.
No, I like my kids a lot more now than I did when they were babies.
Yeah.
Like, I think it gets better. If you're lucky, it gets better as they age.
Not when they're, I don't know about that. When they get to be in their teens, right, Mr. Wallach? That's when you start fighting that. It's a whole nother fight.
Yeah.
So I'm not sure about, when they're in the 8 to 12 range, but when they get to be 13, they become aliens. So I don't buy the picture of that 13 to 18 range.
I think 8 is the magic number. I had no use for either one of my kids until they turned 8 years old. So and that is the sweet spot. You got about a 4-year window there.
Yeah, they are. They're just as nice as they can be. But when they become like in grade school, maybe like the 5th grade, you remember they used to ask you to come to school all the time. Sit beside me, Daddy, sit beside me. And when they get to be about that grade school, they don't want to know you anymore. Like, don't take me close to the kids. Drop me down the block. I'll walk. As a matter of fact, only thing you're there for is your ATM machine.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think that if you were a big radio star, that might have been different because you just played in the NBA. I don't know if maybe that wasn't enough.
No, it's no different. I think I was to bother my daughter when she was in the 11th grade. I ran behind her and her ankle had almost fractured. And I was like, give me a kiss. Give me a kiss. She's like, get away from me, you pervert.
That's one of life's great joys is embarrassing the children in public.
Yes.
That is one of the great things.
Yes.
I know you have diarrhea.
Yes.
We'll get to the aisle. We're not there yet.
I know.
Yeah, I'm a big fan of that.
And Johnny gets worse if you have a girl. You go, I know you're on your period, honey. Okay, all right, say it out loud.
Yeah. That's a constant question in the house.
Yeah.
All right, Cedric, and that's tonight is the big game, and Cedric will be on the call along with Sean Grandy. So everyone listen in tonight as the Celtics take on the Cleveland Cavaliers. Cedric, it's one of our favorite interviews of the week. It's always a pleasure, sir. Thank you so much for joining us.
Thank you, gentlemen. You guys have a good one.
Thanks,
Thank you. I'm telling you, my daughter's 14, and I don't have any problems with her. Like it's gonna. I know it's coming, and I know that she's gonna get a boyfriend or something.
Hardy, when did you start having trouble with your daughter?
I mean, it's not anything that is an issue. It's not like my wife and I are having conversations about what like a problem it is. What it turns into is, they don't need you, to that extent that they did, especially when they start driving and they have their own lives and personalities and things like that. So I would say right about driver's license age is when you really feel the disconnect.
Because I'm with my daughter, as anyone who's seen me in public can confirm, I'm with my daughter a lot. Like, I'm out with her a lot. Like, she doesn't mind. She doesn't even mind if I'm, like, with her friend. Like, if she sees me with her friends. Like, it's very odd at 14 that she is this way. My son, I don't know what the hell's going on with him. But, you know, he's, like, we're trying to steer him. Like,
but you guys all get along, and that's the thing.
We
like,
do get along.
Like, there isn't the only like person to person issue in the house remains between the brother and sister, which didn't start until I would say like preteen years. Like when Katie was 12 and Calvin's like 8. So those two still don't see eye to eye. But person to person, the rest of us, we all get along great. There isn't a certifiable a-hole in the house besides me. And I think that helps.
Yeah, my kids, my son hated my daughter from literally the minute she came home. Just very quickly, the story. So she's a newborn. Milo's a year and a half, 2 years old. And we go to get photos taken. And there's a video of this I have on my phone. Milo, the guy goes, all right, hey, let's put the 1.5-year-old on the baby, like laying with the baby. Sure. So Milo looks up and he smiles, and then he looks down and he just slaps her in the face and looks back up and smiles. Like he used to sleep in his crib. Oh, did he love his crib? The minute we brought Zoe home, he didn't want to be in that crib. He didn't want anything to do with anything. He did not like it. And to this day, he'd protect her. He's very protective of her, but I'm with you. Like, the two of them together in a car is a nightmare. Yeah. A complete nightmare, the arguing. Oh, do I hate it. And then, that noise. Hachi-machi. All right. Something came out. We don't need a lot of time for it. There was a big Starbucks fight at the Combine.
Yes.
And the information about it is out. We can talk about that in just a moment.
If you are a Bud person, you're in hog heaven.
Sports Hub headline. and Hardy.
That's what I want, especially physical specimens like Ian Rappaport, who's a great guy, but not a large man. Who's the other guy?
Jordan Schultz.
Jordan Schultz had a report that Brady flew Stafford out to
Montana,
whatever place rich people have ruined.
Yes,
and which is true.
When the two of them were skiing in Montana, and apparently Brady.
If you're a local, by the way, anywhere near one of those places in Montana now, a friend told me that they're paying people at TJ Maxx $35 an hour because of how outrageous pricing is there, and that they have to commute in like an hour and a half. So like. I mean, it happens, but I mean, you thought you were probably safe in Wyoming, you know, and now you're not. But anyway, so the guy reported that Brady had flown Stafford out there. Rappaport, I guess, said it didn't happen, and then they were at a Starbucks, which doesn't even involve drinking, which makes it even funnier. They're probably hungover and everything, but I guess this Schultz guy got in Rappaport's face, and then NFL security was called, which sounds a lot like. Because if NFL security, because Rappaport works for the NFL, but if I didn't work for the NFL and NFL security came up to me, I'd be like, go screw. Like, all right, rent a cop, like, get out of here. You're not a police officer. Like, I'm not going to talk to you.
You have nothing to do with me in terms of a law enforcement capacity.
Yeah, like,
stop.
Like, yeah, you're like a guy at the mall. I'm not going to listen to you. Like, stand here. No. How about that? Like the guy at the dog park. You a cop? No. Take this ticket. No.
Give me your ID. No.
Yeah, no. Like, I'm not going to show you my identification, dumbass. Just because you have a T-shirt on, it doesn't mean I'm not showing you my ID. So anyway, there's been more revelations about
they were talking about the fight between Jordan Schultz and Ian Rappaport on Inside the NBA last night.
Gentlemen, how are we?
I'm in a good mood, man.
Why is that?
Well, because I was at Starbucks today. And? It's dangerous in there, Ernie. Those fish flying everywhere. I was like, see, I don't normally go to Starbucks because that's where rich white folks go. I used to get
rich white folks go.
Yeah, I love to go with black folks.
That's the place where
that's
apparently it's where a lot of reporters go.
Apparently,
$2 coffee is where you have to be rich.
Ain't no $2 coffee. They should be drinking Folgers like the rest of us do.
Oh my God! Hey, you know we're in the presence. Hey, Jordan Schultz of Fox verbally accosted Ian Rappaport of NFL Media at an Indianapolis Starbucks on Wednesday afternoon. The report was made to NFL security.
Jack, you see that kind of word they use? Accosted.
Yeah, accosted.
Whooping his ass. That's what happened.
I've been knowing Jordan for a long time. Of course, his father's Howard Schultz. He could have owned all the franchise, but he decided to go a different route. I've always respected Jordan for that. But yeah, Jordan, hope you got it.
Ian. I got Ian in this one.
Boy, is Shaquille O'Neal involved with a lot of business ventures. No shortage of it. So I guess what's he saying is Schultz's father was like a big-time franchisee.
Was the CEO of Starbucks for a while.
I would imagine that's a well-paying position.
Yes. I would think that probably does okay.
And I do like the notion that Barkley is like of altercation. He's making fun of it because Barkley, of course, is the guy in Atlanta that threw a guy through a bar window.
Oh, I thought that was in Orlando. Is that right?
Well, he did something bad in Atlanta.
He threw a guy through a plate glass window in a bar.
Maybe that was in Orlando, whatever.
Yeah.
But he did a bunch of like weird crap in Atlanta too. So, and by the way, he threw a guy through this in the internet era. He threw a guy through a plate glass window, and nothing really happened. Everyone loves Barkley so much, myself included, that it was no big deal. This is a guy who can chug a bottle of Patron on command. Like Barkley knows if you're gonna get into it with Barkley, like. There is going to be a physical confrontation because he's above the law.
There's a million Barkley stories out there. I'm sure you read this one, Fred. He befriended this guy. He was like an older Asian guy at some event. And this
Andy Wong?
No. Older than Andy. And apparently this guy had a propensity for exaggerating things in his life and telling stories that his friends and family would be like, yeah, whatever. And he's like, no, I'm friends with Charles Barkley. And I talk to him all the time. And Barkley legitimately talked to this guy. They would talk before NFL games and like talk about their bets and text back and forth. This guy passed away and he lived in a weird town like in Arkansas or something. And lo and behold, at the funeral, in walks Charles Barkley to this guy's funeral, and they're like, holy crap, he wasn't lying. This,
That's funny.
Our dad, uncle, whatever, he was friends with Charles Barkley. No one believed him.
Class act?
Real quick. It happened 1997, Church Street Station.
Oh, I know where that.
In
That's Julie
Orlando.
Pianos.
What he did was inappropriate. I'm going to defend myself. Let there be no debate. If you bother me, I'm going to whip your ass.
Yeah. Good for him. Very quickly, Peter, go ahead. Peter, go ahead.
Hey, guys, great show. NFL security is no joke. It's all retired FBI agents.
Oh, I know that.
Et cetera.
Yeah, I'm not saying like I would fight them or like, challenge their ability to, uphold the law. But I don't think it's their job outside of an NFL arena or function to get involved in my business. Wouldn't you say? Or am I incorrect in that?
Well, I mean, if he's an employee of the NFL,
Well, no,
they're going to get
Rappaport,
involved.
yeah, but not Schultz. Like, if I'm
Right,
Schultz, do I
right.
have to cooperate with the NFL security?
Not him, but if it's Rappaport, you have
sure.
to.
Yeah, absolutely, Rappaport does. I think I said that, but no. I know that, believe me, I know. I followed the Aaron Hernandez thing. I absolutely know that the NFL security are legit dudes, but they're not with those organizations anymore. They're security guys now. Like, I don't have to, they're not in a position of power where they can ask me to do something.
That always gets brought up with Aaron Hernandez, like team security and in the NFL security and all that stuff. Well, they're so awesome. And believe me, if you're dealing with a sociopath, I understand the job becomes a lot greater and they don't have all the resources that they had when they were working in actual government agencies. But if there's supposed to be this, lockdown organization, NFL security and team security. Well, where were they?
Oh, I think that the Patriots probably knew an awful lot, and they pushed it aside. And certainly before they draft, the NFL security had done, and their people had done a tremendous amount of research, and they had a tremendous amount of information on Aaron Hernandez. It's not their job to stop him from doing stuff. It's their job to find out what's going on and inform the team. Like, I don't think NFL security was out with Aaron Hernandez the night he killed the guys. That's not their job to follow guys around and make sure they don't kill anybody. I think you're letting the Patriots off the hook a little bit. I think they knew plenty.
I think too much gets said about it and too much credit is given. It's like, well, that's not their job. So how many people did he allegedly kill or shoot before he finally went to jail? Like, at what point is it okay to step in and maybe say something other than, hey, you might want to know about this?
Are you allowed to? Like, do you have the authority to do so?
Well, whether you have the authority to do so or not, just say, I don't have the fear of God put in me when someone mentions NFL or team security based on what happens with a lot of these guys.
Well, then we're on the same page as that, because if they came up to me at a Starbucks and they said, hey, we're NFL security, I'd be like, well, we're in a Starbucks. That's not in an NFL place.
Wait outside. I'll be right with you.
Like I'm not cooperating with you in any way.
Yeah.
All right. We'll be back. So we're on the same page with that. All right. We'll be back in just a moment.
Toucher and Hardy, 98.5 The Sports Hub.
Guys, we talk about erectile dysfunction, and people snicker.
For sports.
He scored! What a blast by Pasternak! Holiday screams good night! Oh!
WBZFM and HD Boston 98.5, the Sports Hub. Beasley Media Group station. Essential Sports Hub headline presented by Celsius Energy Drinks.
A very frustrating loss for the Bruins last night at TD Garden.
Shot save made by Swayman, rebound, and they score. And it's Kyle Palmieri who puts the Islanders up by 2 early here in the second.
That is Ryan Johnston here on 98.5 The Sports Hub. Bruins outshot the Islanders 39-20 and still lost 2-1. David Pasternak, the only goal of the night in the loss. The Bruins have lost 5 straight. They visit Pittsburgh tomorrow. They have also listed Trent Frederick as week-to-week with a lower body injury. Celtics had last night off. They're back at it tonight against first-place Cleveland at TD Garden. Jaylen Brown, Drew Holiday, and Luke Cornett are questionable. Grandy and Max at the pregame at 7. The tip-off at 7:30 here on 98.5 The Sports Hub. The Athletic reported yesterday the Patriots' plan for the offseason is to build through the offensive and defensive lines and not include T. Higgins. Kansas City's Travis Kelce confirmed to ESPN yesterday he's going to come back for another season. And the Red Sox beat Detroit in Lakeland, Florida yesterday 6-5. They visit Philadelphia in Clearwater, Florida today. Garrett Crochet will make his second spring start. Sports Hub headlines are brought to you by 128 Plumbing, Heating, Cooling, and Electric, the company that finishes every job strong. If your home or business has a plumbing, HVAC, electrical, or drain issue that can't wait, you have to call 128 now at 888-CALL-128. I'm John Wallach on Boston's Home for Sports, 98.5 The Sports Hub. Your next update at 9:30.
You want to talk sports? We want to talk sports.
Squeeze the chicken and open the mouth.
It's like we were meant for each other.
This is why you need us.
98.5 The Sports Hub.
Is elongating.
Weekday mornings.
Here goes Hardy.
Toucher and Hardy.
I no longer love things.
Let's go. Let's ride.
98.5.
Like, let's roll the dice.
The Sports Hub.
Hey, we're Toucher and Hardy, brought to you by FanDuel Sportsbook. Make every moment more with FanDuel. And as I often tell you, you can watch us live, the Joe Murray Show live on 98.5 The Sports Hub's page on YouTube. Clips from all the shows, Alex Barth at the Combine, bunch of cool stuff up there. So please subscribe to 98.5 The Sports Hub. The head of the company was here yesterday. Did you see when I went out and I tried to? Hardy did. So we got our photos taken yesterday again because I'd whined about them. We'll see how this goes. But so it was the woman who's like the family. She's the head Beasley and her like consigliere, like her second in command, and our general manager. And they were like kind of like hanging out after the show by the studio door to like say hello. So I've met them before, and the consigliere I have had great conversations with. I felt we had like a really good rapport. So I came out, and Mary, obviously we talk to her all the time, our general manager. So I thought I'll come out and be really charming and self-effacing. And I came in and I said, and I think someone said like, wow, you look thin. And so I said, oh, that's very nice of you. I know you don't have to lie to me. But we're taking these new photos because I have whined about them, and we're taking these new photos. I complained, and I'm like, now I'm under a lot of pressure. And I told him about how someone thought that you guys were so much taller than me, and that I was essentially a little person. And I go through this whole thing, and Hardy was there. Not even a hint of a smile.
There wasn't even a courtesy laugh. I don't know.
It was almost bizarre. Like what's going on? Like, and I thought I was being relatively charming.
Well, yes, in a funny, self-deprecating way.
Right.
It seemed to be working, and
like I was giving him like A+ stuff, and I was getting nothing.
No,
and then our general manager
it
bombed bad. It bombed bad.
Oh, that's
and then our general manager goes, "Wait, are you taking these for dating photos?" So thank you, Mary. I appreciate that notion. A, in general, that you think that highly of me, and B, that you would say so in front of the head of the company.
The two people who are in charge of the entire company.
Right.
Yeah.
That at a wave of the hand could fire me just based on principle. She could just go, I don't like that. But no, I'm not taking these for dating photos. I mean, I want a photo that I like. That, I mean, it doesn't hurt that, you know, if someone looks me up, that I look at least like a 3 on a scale of 1 to 10 instead of a 1. That would be nice. So, yes, selfishly, that is a part of it, but I don't think it's a ridiculous notion.
I'm sure these photos will show you in your best light, Fred.
Well, you were there.
Yes,
I mean, obviously they will.
We were there for about, 5 minutes. It was great.
There was a stool, though, on stage.
That was the best part. The one thing that we've been railing about.
I thought they were doing a bit.
The stool was there.
I thought they were doing like and I said, oh, this is brilliant. So they bring us up to take the photo again, and they say, okay, Fred, you sit on the stool.
I thought he was kidding.
And Hardy, you and Wallach go on either side of him. He's like, ha, ha, ha. And he goes, yeah, but, you know, Fred is in the middle. I'm like, that's really funny. And he wasn't joking.
No.
He had no idea that maybe the primary reason for reshooting it was so that Fred was not seated on a stool this time. And I told him afterward, because he kind of said, like, sorry, I didn't know about the stool thing. I said, I thought you were one of the most brilliant comedic minds of our time because you were not backing off that bit.
No.
You stayed in character. You really wanted Fred to sit on that stool. I thought, man, this guy's got chops. He could be in the Groundlings.
Mm-hmm.
This is great. No, he really didn't know.
No, he's no fan of this show. Either way, I think he's completely indifferent on the whole affair, which is not his. He doesn't have to be a fan of the show. But we stood and the pictures were taken, and
when do we get them back? When do we find out?
Oh, I want to see the proofs. I want to see the contact sheets.
Yeah.
Get my loop out. Take a look.
There's going to be so much differential. I mean, do we know how many photos he took? 2, 4, 11?
A bunch.
I don't know.
How do you know?
I don't know how those cameras
he
work.
Said that. He goes, I got a bunch of photos. We're good. That was, I believe, what he said at the end of the shoot. But
how long was he actively taking photos?
5 minutes, maybe.
Adam, how long was
he
actively
total? Well,
taking
remember,
photos?
you guys did individual shots as well.
Okay, no, for the group photo, how long was he taking photos?
90 seconds.
That's a bold statement.
But if you've got it, man, if you capture the moment, we'll have to move on.
Look, man, all I know is I'm not I can't complain about it again because now it was my idea and now it is what it is. So I do feel a little bit of pressure on this in that, like, now if I complain about it, the consensus is just, dude, you're ugly, face it. Like, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And that's a very real thing. I'm not making that up. And I realize that. I'm self-aware enough to know that if this one comes out poor, that it's just going to be like, dude, shut up, you're ugly. Like, you know, at least if not to my face, that will be what everyone's saying behind my back. And that is not a good place to be. But so I trust the process. I mean, you know, great art. I mean, Andy Warhol could knock out a sketch in 30 seconds. Who knows? All right. Travis Kelce, were you guys on pins and needles about this? Travis Kelce, not so sure if he was going to play in the NFL next year. I mean, after that outrageous performance in the Super Bowl, where, by the way, he was very physically ill, if that has come out, that he was tremendously sick. Not that he's slow. Every time Travis Kelce gets that open, like in his zone defense or something, you think, why don't you just have your slowest guy covering him? Why don't you just have your nose tackle cover him? Put some 350-pound guy on him and just follow him around. Because once Kelce catches the ball in space, he's not scoring. Like he's not going anywhere. Is he the greatest tight end of all time? Sure. Debatable, right? There's 3 names that could be
debatable.
Up there. Gonzalez and Gronkowski and him.
Yeah.
I don't care to have that debate. I don't really people far more knowledgeable than me can handle that. I'm not doubting his greatness or how great he's been in the postseason. But at 35, when he catches the ball in open space, he's not scoring. Like, he will get caught. Someone could be 20 yards behind him, and they're going to catch him. But, I think Travis Kelce's like a douche who's overexposed. But who else to make the announcement of these coming back than Pat McAfee?
Oh, thank goodness.
So I guess a lot of people like Pat McAfee. I will play you this clip. I will just play it, and then you tell me why you like him.
We heard Brett Veach speak on the Travis Kelce future conversation and speculation. We heard Coach Andy Reid speak on the speculation of Travis Kelce's future. And I decided to reach out to sources who know and say, like, hey, are we playing next year? To my source says. And
why? Okay,
I don't know. I don't know what the bid is. I don't know what their little thing is.
I hate it.
Yeah.
It's
like,
don't do that.
Why is this like in any way hip or funny or cool?
Hardy or Fred, do you remember the syndicated morning show? It wasn't Bob and Tom, but there was like a syndicated morning show like that called themselves like the Masters. It was like, it's so-and-so and so-and-so, the Masters, us. They would both say us at the same time, and that's what that's reminding me of. It's really cringy and bad.
I'm surprised I never heard of it because it sounds like it was something right up my alley.
Sensational.
I like syncopated comedy. I like when guys get together.
Synchronized, you mean? Yes.
Yeah, syncopated, synchronized. Yeah, I like it. Thank you. I like it when a bunch of guys, they go, we're going to do a little thing here. I say source and you say says. And I'm going to do it. I'm going to say Travis is playing, but I'm going to do it real funny. In a cute way, which is the most masculine of comedy. By the way, Will Ferrell wouldn't do Elf 2. He knew. He's like, I made a little money. Would have
been the easiest thing in the world, and he knew to say no.
He goes, you get one of those.
Yeah.
Message what?
You notice they stopped that cheerleader sketch. It was a big hit, but he got out of it. Cute comedy. That's Jimmy Fallon comedy, my friends. That's James Corden comedy. That ain't for men.
Was my dog! Exclamation point! Exclamation point! Exclamation point! 3. Source says I'm coming back for sure. Going to try and get to the best shape I've been this offseason and get back to the mountaintop. Got a real bad taste in my mouth with how I played in that last game and how I got the guys ready for battle. I can't go out like that. Exclamation point, exclamation point, exclamation point, and guess what? One more exclamation
Wow.
point. Huge. Okay, so that's the Travis Kelce future conversation.
So he's probably coming back.
I think you could probably.
Yes,
I think you could say. I think you could say Travis Kelce's coming back to play football yet again.
Okay, so congratulations. You have his number. You paid Aaron Rodgers $1 million a year to go on your YouTube show, and that's why you have a show. Now, let's address this. Fred, you're jealous of Pat McAfee.
Obviously.
Okay, let's go. People that are better than me and more successful than me at radio that I like. Howard Stern, Charlamagne the God, Mad Dog, Paul Feinbaum. I just named 4 people in the medium of audio radio that are better than me and have had far more successful careers that are better than me. So Pat McAfee is not one of them. Pat McAfee sucks. And if you listen to him, you're an idiot. You really might be an idiot. And the best is you don't get it. Oh no, I get it. He works for Disney. It's not. He's not. It's not. This isn't. Some guy on a pirate radio here changing the way the game's played. I guess I get that he can say the S word, and that's tremendous. It's very exciting. I mean, I could hear that from any kid, but I can hear it from Pat McAfee. Oh, you don't get it. You're old. No. Anything the Disney Corporation does that I think I understand. Oh, Stephen A. Smith is another guy that's more successful than me and better than me. And so there's a guy at ESPN. So don't. I'm already heading off two of your arguments right now. He works for Disney. I
still think you're jealous. You're jealous of the people who do get it. So the jealousy is still there. They get it. You don't.
Yeah. Once you work for the Disney company, any cool, rebellious factor that you might be hanging on to is long gone. You are in a long corporate game. You are a peg in the cog. I am jealous about how he leveraged garbage views on YouTube into a really lucrative TV gig. That I am jealous of because, again, if I was running ESPN, I'd go, what is everyone talking about? Oh, his Aaron Rodgers interviews. I think he was brilliant to pay Aaron Rodgers $1 million a year to do his show because that's the only thing people talked about. He sucks. Bad. And he's not that much younger than me. So, believe me, I don't care for him. He was a silly goose punter, and I get that, and the media liked him.
Seemed like a nice guy when we talked to him at the Super Bowl that time.
I bet he's a great, nice guy. I don't want to hang out with him, but I bet you he's a friendly fellow. Who knows if he's friendly or not? I don't know anything about him.
Says.
That's annoying as hell.
Jesus. Just everything about him is annoying. It's just all annoying. So Travis Kelce's playing football game.
There you go. There's the news.
Yeah,
you're jealous that he broke news.
Yeah, that's what I want to be
can't figure out
doing.
what you're jealous of. You're definitely jealous, though.
No, I just know sometimes what's going to come in, and I'm heading you off here. I just named a bunch of guys currently doing radio that are more successful than me that I respect, and there you go. Now you have them. Pat McAfee is not one of them,
according to SOAR. Oh,
herpes.
I thought you were going to finish it.
Oh, I thought you were talking about sores. I thought you were talking about.
I thought you said sore too. I didn't know what you were saying.
Source. I thought you
were
saying.
Well,
Never mind. Then.
According to SOAR, your lips.
Got
the
it.
thing on your lip.
Got it.
According to SOAR, herpes. No.
Shanker.
According to genital warts. All right, very good.
According to Milky, discharge.
I was shocked that I didn't have herpes.
The show has far too many clips with the word herpes in it.
Well, I did the famous herpes test in
That's
Atlanta.
Right. That's right.
When I contended everyone had herpes, but I didn't.
Yeah.
I had a clean panel, my friends.
Good for
That was a long time ago.
No, it was actually quite recently. Got a Hep B shot yesterday. I got a Hep B shot.
Good luck with that. Why don't you rub some zinc on it while you're at it? Some magnesium.
Oh, there's a chip in there, but
Okay,
but you got to play a number. It's a numbers game.
Ah.
All right, we'll be back in just a moment with the world famous email segment.
Stay tuned for more Toucher and Hardy on the Sport.
should do the email bit. It's a great idea. Let's do the email bit.
Let's do it. Hey, we're Toucher and Hardy, and if you want to get in touch with us, you can simply go to 985thesportshub.com, and that has our email addresses on it. You can follow our show. Very active on social media, at Toucher and Hardy on, I guess, Twitter and Instagram, though. You can at Hardy985 on Instagram, and at Fred Toucher on Instagram, where the players play. We're building into something big.
I haven't had a count in a while.
Okay, I can get that for you. While you're at it, get a
Thanks,
sad
buddy.
trombone noise because
That's on you, Hardy. You have all the trombone isolation.
Yeah, I can take care of that.
Tim
Don't you worry
says
about it.
Adam 12 blowing it on the FanDuel ad copy.
Oh, yeah. I say the audio quality on those is better than I was expecting them to be. Good studio mics.
Shut up. I'm getting like no followers. I've gotten like 79 in the last month.
Huh.
So I've picked up 203 and lost 124. That's, well, it's a little jumbled, Adam, with your trombone.
It's more appropriate. Thank you, Hardy.
What was funny about Adam playing the trombone yesterday is how he's not so good at it.
Yeah, I never said I was good at it.
Sneaky bad on the bone.
Yeah. Hardy and I were having that conversation. We're like, this is fairly bad. Yeah, that's that's not how you're supposed to sound.
Are you supposed to be able to hear the slide? Yeah, I'm hearing
It's
a lot
not
of
the
clicking
sliding.
of the
You're hearing the
brass.
clicking of the plunger mute on the bell
Yeah,
of the
but
horn.
you're not buzzing correctly.
No,
Like,
right. Well, I mean, look at and again, I preface this by saying I never said I was great on the trombone. I'm not
Yes,
a
you
great
did.
trombone player. No, I did not.
Yes, you did.
And it's also like not, but at the same time, not easy to do at like 7:30 in the morning when I've had like a couple minutes to warm up. I warmed up more the first time we did it, but I feel like it wasn't as good as the second time we did it because I feel like I understood the bit a little bit the second time.
Let's refrain from using the word good at all
You
when we're
think-
talking about the trombone segment.
you don't think Duke Ellington's group after knock it down so soon?
Oh, here we go.
Man, what you talking about? You can't play at 7:30. You'll be playing more than a trumpet at 7:30.
Playing what?
You'll wake up, Adam. Wake up. You felt good last night, didn't you, Adam? You won't feel that way again. Get ready to start acting like a lady. Chaz Wallach taking advantage of young Adam.
I just want jazz balling.
Yeah, man. What you mean you can't play that horn at 7:30 in the morning?
It's too early in the morning.
I'll tell you when it's too early in the morning. You want to be my bottom lady?
What does that? I don't even know what that means.
Stop talking back to me in a weak imitation of me.
When are we having a lesson again? I need more time to practice.
Oh, baby, I'll give you a lesson. I'll give you a lesson on how to work them corners.
You said that last time. I didn't even end up taking out my trombone.
You ain't taking out that trombone. You gonna put that Kool-Aid on your cheeks and get in that car.
There it
Get in
is.
them cars.
There it is. There it is.
Thank you.
You get in them cars.
There it is.
Baby, you lied. I can't say what I really want to say, but baby, you lied today. This stack of money you gave me don't feel right.
I'm not holding out.
You hold on. Take off your shoes. Damn it, Sophia. You got me again. It's like you have no filter.
I remember that.
Time out. Zach's tripping.
Remember that time Miles Davis appeared on Saved by the Bell? That was an awesome episode.
It was the one where they had the guy and they go, Brandon Tartikoff showed up and said drugs are bad. And then Miles came in and said, shut the hell up, Whitey. Lisa, let's get out of here. All right, very good. Whoa. Mr. Belden, shut up, you whole trick. Now get out of this office. I'm running a brothel out of it. Screech, make a robot that uses his hand right. All right.
Sarah from Everett has been texting. Emailing, I should say. Not texting.
You said earlier there was a lot from her.
I think thrown off really by Adam 12's indifference toward her offer of the Mini Cooper yesterday. And she said that one of the reasons why she offered it up really was just because they wanted to get rid of it. She emailed me last night. Happy to announce I loaded the AC Delco 888-66-155-475 battery last night. After 3 turns of the key, it started. It was hard to hear. Adam 12 thinks I would want something for my gift, especially from someone who supposedly gives his time for the needy. I was just trying to do the same. I have a car that I don't drive and wanted to gift it to him. Watch the original Italian Job. Yesterday hurt.
I appreciate the offer. And I appreciate the that you gave the ID number on the battery as well. So
and she also said that she bought a tricycle for herself because Adam 12 let her down.
Yeah, so if you don't know, Sarah has been dating a guy for a long time. I guess they met at a show event like years and years ago. So the good news is that her boyfriend, the romantic that he is, doesn't like that Sarah has a neuroses about driving now. So he said, under the tree, he said, "Hey, Sarah, I know you have a great deal of anxiety and that you don't want to drive anymore. Here's a car battery. Go put it in the car and start driving. Merry Christmas."
It's not a very loving gesture on his part.
No.
It's really kicking the bird out of the nest. Tough love.
Yeah, well, not on Christmas morning. You know, my father one time got coal for Christmas in his stocking.
Really? Legitimately, like the parents old school put coal in the stocking.
Yes. I guess his father was not an overly nice man, but he got coal in his stocking.
Explains
so that was always threatened in my home. It was never delivered, but it was. All right, here's one. Mitch says, do you guys have sports hub security like the NFL security? I imagine big stars like you need police force to get around. Is this one of Mark Gemelli's many jobs? That's from Mitch in New Bedford. No, but when there have been death threats upon my life, the station will hire a temporary off-duty police officer.
I still wish we'd add that last security guard in. That would have been made for some great radio.
Yeah, it was tempting, but we did not. We chose not to have him on. But Mark Gemelli, listen, his name comes up from time to time. Nick and Mark are working it out. You know,
are they still currently?
That's right. Oh, Nicholas, we're estranged. Nick! I'm putting you right to voicemail.
Why?
Why would you do that?
Because we're estranged.
Oh.
But Mark Gemelli, we love him, and we hope he's doing well, and he's doing the best.
Still getting emails about Daniel, the driver in Puerto Rico last week. Joey said, spent a long flight catching up on the shows. Could not contain myself during the Daniel segment. I did not get a chance to download the next episode. Then did you reveal whether or not Daniel answered? Yes, he did. And and then I got another email. Tell me what you would have done with this one, Fred. This came in last night. Gentleman wanted to know. He was going to Puerto Rico. Oh, here it is. It took me a moment to find it here. Chris says, head into Puerto Rico next week for a vacation. Heard you talking about the driver, Daniel. You think you could send me his contact info so I can connect with him next week? Or you can send him my cell number. If more comfortable, he can text me. What would you have done with this?
In all seriousness, I would have sent Daniel his number.
Okay.
Like, I don't think that's even weird. I think that's actually doing him a solid.
So instead, I emailed Chris back this morning. I said, do you promise to treat him as the prince that he is? Do you swear you're going to shower him with respect and gratuities? If so, here's his name and his number. Also, he'll know me as Rob Poole, not Hardy, if he remembers. So I sent him Daniel's info, which is what I asked Daniel. I said, hey, can I share your info with people if they want to, and they need a driver?
Did you text him? That was the second text?
That was the email back. No.
No. But did you ask Daniel
No.
While you're in-
When we were departing at the airport or in the ride to the airport, I said I would love to contact you again. Can I share your info with people if they're coming down? And he said yes.
All right, here's what you got to text them. You got to let them. You got to.
This is a reason for a follow up. Give it to me. Give it to me. Give it to me.
Go. Hey Daniel, just a heads up. I was due to me talking to you on the air. One of our listeners is coming to Puerto Rico and would like to use your services. You don't owe me anything. Just your friendship is enough.
Okay.
Love, Rob.
Okay.
Do it.
I'll text him over the weekend. I'll give him a heads up.
Why not
But
right
you
now?
have to say you don't owe me anything. Don't worry, you don't owe me anything.
I'm not doing that.
Why not right now? Just text him right now.
Yeah, and just say, okay, then rather than you don't owe me anything, just be like, still waiting for when you're coming up to Boston, LOL. Not really. Kidding.
Sorta.
Yeah, sorta.
Just trying to send some business his way. That's it.
Oh, I got one. Okay, so you text him and you say, Daniel, hey, what's up? It's like I would give him a heads up that you gave him a number in all
Yes.
seriousness, but go, hey, Daniel, what's up? I gave a listener of ours your information, said you're going to Puerto Rico. Hopefully that works out for you. What kind of cologne do you wear? I miss the smell.
No, yes. Don't wear cologne. It's very natural.
All right.
It wasn't- yeah, that's
what
a-
kind of deodorant do you wear, or is that just your
Yeah,
natural
the car
mark?
smelled fantastic.
It did, but it wasn't like an overpowering scent like you get in a lot of these rideshare situations where it's like, yeah, this is too much. It was never too much.
Here, Daniel, I got this number, Hey, I got about a bunch of pictures of you, but I'm having trouble printing them out. My digital printer's not working. Could you please send me a Polaroid? I'd like to hold things.
Not doing that. I'm not doing that. I'm not doing that.
You think that'll tarnish the relationship?
No, I'm not doing. Stop. Both of you stop.
But
That's good.
Daniel,
That's gonna be quite
I'm sending you this listener reached out. I'm sending you his information. He's going to reach out to you. I gave him the highest compliments. What are you doing for Christmas?
Yeah. What's been going on?
What's
How's
your
the family?
what's your address? I'd like to send you a present.
I thought about asking for his address at some point.
Yeah. So when's your birthday? What's your address? I don't want this to end.
What do you like to drink?
Oh,
well, you're just gonna. I mean, he lives in the capital of Rummy. That's like bringing sand to the beach. Yeah. Why don't you just ask him if you can send him some sunshine?
Right.
I mean, come on.
Is he going to send me some lobster?
Chowder. Why don't you make a bet on the Super Bowl with him? A fun bet.
With a Puerto Rican radio station, we should do that.
Yeah, you should. You remember when the bet I did with the Charlotte radio station?
What were the stakes?
Is that if we are the home, I can't remember what our thing was, but it say we are the home of Coca-Cola. If it was the Carolina, who were the Falcons? There was some NFC championship game, whatever. And we called and we said it was North Carolina versus Atlanta, and we said if we win, say we'll give you like 2 cases of Diet Coke, and if you lose, you have to desecrate the grave of Dale Earnhardt.
Did you do that on the air with them?
Yes.
And what did they say?
They didn't care for it, and they were quick. I mean, they really got back at us quick. I mean, it took a while for those hick minds to start kicking in. Those Market 44 minds to start realizing what was happening, and then they did. But there you go, and it went over well in Atlanta too because Earnhardt had no fans there. I got love from everyone. All right, we'll be back with the stack. Here are the headlines.
Sports Hub headlines presented by Celsius Energy Drinks.
Alexander Romanov and Kyle Palmieri each scored once, and Ilya Sorokin added 38 saves in net. The New York Islanders beat the Bruins 2-1.
knock on wood. But I never had it yet.
No, you said you didn't want to hear more music in the morning. Okay. Here's more Toucher and Hardy on the Sports Hub. We know what you're thinking. What could I possibly have missed from the show? It's time for The Stack on Toucher and Hardy.
Hey, we're Toucher and Hardy, brought to you by FanDuel Sportsbook. Make every moment more with FanDuel. Mike, hi, Mike.
Hi, guys. I got two things. One, I was wondering how Hardy has Daniel's name in his phone. Is there like a car emoji with hearts around it? Daniel, Puerto Rico, what is it? And also the proper way to ask him a question. You should all know this before asking questions. You say, hey, Americans going on vacation in Puerto Rico, driving around. What do you think of that?
Yeah, I did screw that part of it up.
That's how you break the ice.
How did I put him? You know what? It required no other information. Oh, no, I did. I have his first and last name in the phone, and then as a...
Emojis? Do you have emojis?
No, just DD for his initials, and then I have a Puerto Rico driver. I have it listed there. See? Right there.
No one could guess the last name.
It's very uncommon.
It would be like Johnson here. Mike, you had anything else? You had another thing you said you wanted to...
No, I was saying I was making reference of breaking the ice. You say like yada. What do you think of that?
I understand. You're doing sports talk, Matt. The great interviewer.
We all need advice when it comes to doing this job from time to time. And Joe Murray was asked for his advice by Barrett Sports Media earlier this week.
I read that.
As to how to navigate the dead period. Joe Murray, who showed up in the morning show YouTube chat 2 days ago. We do not read the chat here while we're on the air because we want to feel okay about ourselves. So, but I do have a screenshot of it. Ryan said, Joe, just sitting here is his handle on the chat. He said, morning show chat, ! And then a bunch of people saying their good mornings and salutations. And at some point we were talking about music or singing, and Joe said, I used to sing. So I don't know.
I knew that.
Yeah, no, he
does like a
guitar
big,
too.
Yeah, he's like a big. That actually kind of hurt. That was the Alice in Chains. He's like a big Alice in Chains.
Okay,
guy like that.
But Joe was asked by Barrett Sports Media, what to do at this time of year, the dead time after the Super Bowl, before the, March Madness begins and before we get into the playoffs with the NHL and NBA. Joe said, and this is a quote from the article in Barrett Sports Media, the number one topic around this time to avoid is Mount Rushmore talk, which I absolutely disagree with. I think we could do a Mount Rushmore segment of Mount Rushmores. I think we just pick what is your Mount Rushmore of Mount Rushmore topics, and we could do an hour on that alone. Like, what would you put on your Mount Rushmore of Mount Rushmores?
Best Celtics of all time, best Red Sox of all time. Let's go.
Monday full 8 o'clock hour, slating it in.
Right there.
The Mount Rushmore of Mount Rushmores. Somebody called into Hardy and Troop once and asked him for his Mount Rushmore of late 90s Red Sox situational righties. Was that you, Brad?
With them? I like that.
Was that you? Because I know you used to call us, but you normally called as Larry.
Yeah, I called as Larry, and then I would say, oh boy, these chickens, Troop, and Troop, and I would go on and on and on, and Hardy would be laughing, and Jerry Trupiano would be paying. You couldn't be paying less attention. What was he doing while people were on the phone?
I think I have an idea.
I think
was he on the internet? Minesweeper. He was a big fan of Minesweeper. Played a lot of Minesweeper.
When you first started at the Hub, and because you were full time at BCN, and then Hardy had this real hard transition where he didn't get a full time gig right away, but they go, okay, we're going to give you a weekend show. And Jerry Trupiano shows up. Were you like, oh, Jesus Christ?
I know. I auditioned with him, and we had I auditioned with him and Dan Roach. There may have been a third one, but they decided.
Did you want Roach?
I wanted a job.
Yeah.
I wasn't picky.
Right.
But no, Troop and I were the first weekend show on the Sports Hub at 8 a.m. that first Saturday morning.
Yeah.
But when somebody called in and said, yeah, obviously messing with him, Jerry, what's your Mount Rushmore of late 90s Red Sox situational righties? I'll hang up and listen. And he said, well, I'd have to start with Rich Garces.
Heathcliff Slocum.
And he went and he had a debate. And I just sat there with my jaw on the counter like, you're doing this.
Talk to me about El Guapo.
You know what? It's only 9:40 and we're here until noon. Go ahead and talk.
You know what's kind of funny is that like Mad Dog will pull out these like obscure names, but then he can't remember like Nikola Jokic's name. Like it's sort of funny. It's like charming. And when he brings it up these names, it's funny. Yeah. Like he's like, if you have the game on the line, there's only one guy, Kenny Stabler. And you talk about your Tom Brady, you talk about your Peyton Manning, but you got Kenny. If you ask me, it's Kenny Stabler, the snake. You know, he had ice in his blood. Like he'll do that. There is like a charm to that. There is also the horrible sports talk host that almost as a way of flexing will just continue to, in all seriousness, just name check as many obscure players as possible, as if that somehow makes them entertaining in any way.
No.
I do find the Mount Rushmore conversation funny because I was unaware that it even happened. I've never heard anyone even doing it.
Mount Rushmore of NFL quarterbacks. See, that would be on the Mount Rushmore of Mount Rushmores.
But that's a trope, obviously, of sports talk radio, but I've never heard it. Like, I've never heard anyone doing it.
I've never heard anyone do it.
No.
So that's like a made-up article by Barrett. Like it's a dumb article.
Well, no, that maybe you're saying that Joe Murray is dumb for saying that it's a topic to avoid.
Actually, heard the overnight show on
I think
the
it
other
was brought
station
to him.
doing it like literally 2 nights ago. The guy was doing like it was an NBA related one.
But it couldn't have been a live person.
Yeah.
It was someone on.
No. It was whoever their
like a
network
national
is. Yeah,
guy.
it was a national person, yeah.
Yeah, well, don't put any idiot on in the middle of the night. If you're on the middle of the night national show, unless you're like Ben Maller, that's a real garbage job. I mean, they had Amy Lawrence doing that, and she's extraordinarily not untalented, right, John?
She's done. She's stepped down.
She's retired.
Retired. Yes.
I got her.
I thought I heard her
She
recently.
got Tommy
No,
from
she-
Goodfellas. I replaced her in Providence.
Oh, really?
I had zero radio experience whatsoever.
Yeah.
I told her, you
That's-
go and put him in.
That's
I
right.
had 7 violations my first month.
For
They
swearing?
didn't tell me what I could say or couldn't say on air. I
Oh,
offended
really?
half of Providence.
They didn't tell you the
They called
words.
me in like, we got to sit down. We got to talk.
I'm not surprised.
Yeah.
Yes,
I think we all have a story where.
I love the Italians now.
I'll tell you, I was telling Adam, I don't think I've ever sworn on the air.
Why don't you change that right now? Please.
No, you'd like that, wouldn't you? Then you'd be in this chair. You'd like
Enjoy
that.
your weekend.
All right, you want to get out of here. All right, that'll do it for us. Everyone have a wonderful day. Adam doesn't want us talking to you anymore.